welcome to our second season of Be Great or Die Trying.
What's up?
Yeah, first year's a couple episodes, kind of dabbling with it, playing with the podcast game. But we were just featuring some guys in the Valley, talking about high school football last fall, which was kind of went as expected, but it was definitely different with the new divisions, the 4A kind of coming out and the 5A. But this year we're excited to kind of talk about a lot of different stuff, right? Getting into 7-on-7, getting into the recruiting game, and kind of just a new wave of athletes that are coming through. So
see what's going on with it.
Yeah.
Let us start off by introducing ourselves. This is Willie White, coach extraordinaire. This man of many skills. He's created the Be Great program. He was formerly my coach and can do about anything you could think of besides work a phone.
Yeah, terrible with electronics, but I could definitely set up a defense, and I can definitely train a little bit too. Get after training, but I love coaching. This is Wyatt Virgil, co-host, producer for the podcast. Is man of many talents. He helps me with a lot of stuff. One thing I had to realize is I needed a lot more help, and then why not ask the guys or former guys that I've coached. Met Wyatt when I was 22. He was 13, about to go into high school. Coached him as a freshman. First year I was defensive coordinator. He was like my defensive captain. And yeah, coached him all the way through high school. Been awesome watching him grow into an awesome young man. And this year's been cool, kind of working together, partnering up on Be Great and trying to
set this in motion.
Yeah, get this kind of going. You know, this is year 4, you know, with the COVID year, and, you know, I have big plans and a vision for it, but I definitely need help. People like-minded, and me and Wyatt kind of sat down, and we're trying to make it work, so it's been cool so far.
Hey, and it's only going to get bigger.
Absolutely.
All right, let's get into what the Be Great Foundation is for you guys who don't know, because we've been talking about it a little bit, but Be Great Foundation is pretty much a five-prong organization to help kids get themselves into college and athletes in general. We offer training, academic help, recruiting. We help them with their community service and being a better person, and 7-on-7's competition, which is a big part of what we do. Would you like to elaborate on any of those pieces?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely want to, you know, help kids get as much exposure as possible, particularly in Nevada. I grew up here in Las Vegas. Wyatt was born and raised in Reno, Nevada, correct?
Yes, sir.
So you got two people born and raised in the, you know, 2 major cities in Nevada. And I think Wyatt was a really good football player. I think I was a really good football player, but didn't really know the ins and outs. And, you know, getting people running through here and what to do. I mean, my parents had me really young. We had no idea how to get me recruited.
There is not a manual for any of this stuff.
There's not. It's kind of trial by error, but so yeah, kind of like my experience at DeMonte Ranch High School. That's where Wyatt went, and coaching him there. I just knew a lot of players' parents didn't know, you know, what to do, and we were just hopping in the van, going to camps, trying to meet a lot of coaches, trying to meet a lot of players, sending out film.
Yeah, I remember even when we started, we didn't exactly know. We didn't have it down to a science or anything. You're just throwing it out there, see what happens.
It was trial by error. I remember one time I brought you down here and went to a camp, and it was a total money grab. It was a terrible camp. It was at Liberty. You remember that?
Yeah, it was dirt fields. There were, don't even know if there was a college coach out there.
Yeah, they were all like, it just wasn't, you know, and it was trial by error. It kind of sucks because now I know. Well, it sucks and it doesn't. Like, it sucks that happened to you, but now we know it's not going to happen to our guys now, right? And, but yeah, I mean, and we really try to focus on, you know, we talk about the 5 things where there's training, academic counseling or tutoring, you know, club competition, travel, and, you know, the recruiting assistance as well. Like, all those things are expensive. So, like, trying to get recruited and trying to be great in any sport, right? You have to travel, you have to go. I mean, I know some recruiters are like, hey, coach, we want to see you and such next week. I'm like, dude, the tickets are $1,000 a person. Like, do you think we just have, you know? So I think the main goal of, you know, what we try to do is make it affordable for players. You know, because it sucks because there's a lot of guys that out there that can do it but don't have the funds or the resources or know the right people to get them in the right places. Some
of the best players you'll ever meet won't ever have a chance to make it out of the dark because they don't have a support system around them.
Yeah, and that's what kind of the gist of Be Great is. And we work with all athletes, but we, you know, predominantly work with football players. And our club setting is predominantly football players, and that's kind of what our episode is about today. But before we get into that, we just want to do, one thing about this podcast. Like last year, we didn't film it at all, so this year we're going to film it. And one thing we definitely want to do is have the boys when they come in, if it's a live interview, is to feel comfortable. Because we're going to have, guests talk about their recruiting process. We'll have,
a lot of good things to come.
Yeah, there's a ton of good stuff coming up. One of our former players and his former teammate's a fighter. We're going to try to get him on. Shout out Cameron Sandoval. So we got a lot of big things and plans, but if someone's here in person, we definitely want them to feel good, feel comfortable. Because at the end of the day, a podcast is just a conversation. At the end of the day, so. But yeah, we kind of got dressed up, got tripped out a little bit.
Makes the room all the more lively, you know?
Yeah. I mean, we're trying to set up a good environment for a great conversation.
What's more important than that? What's more important?
Every episode, we want to do just a little fit check, talk about your swag a little bit. So, Coach Virgil, what you got?
I got some shorts on that I actually got with him last time I came down here for his tournament. MLK, we'll talk about that a little bit later. I got a Killua shirt on. I got this from a girl. She gifted it to me because she thought it was cute. No lie. I know my boys won't believe that, but it is true. Got the Adidas. These are my work shoes. You'll see me wear them at every tournament because what we do is work. And then a little beanie from Coach.
Okay. All right. I like it. I'll start off. I got the black Chucks rocking. Just classic. Everything kind of comes back around. I'm not going to lie, I get all my swag tips from the boys. And my little brother gives me. My brother has a stylist or something. But I got some corduroys on. Just like straight from the 90s. Rocking the
Sublime t-shirt goes crazy with the corduroys.
Yeah, graphic tees are back. We all know. So rocking the Sublime tee. Got the gold chain. Ray-Bans. And then, as you can see, we got hats and got
a million
lanyards. And, there's just a bunch going on back.
They all got a story.
Yeah, in every episode, I want to talk about it. So most of these hats are from either a trip or a visit. One of my boys got an offer there or something like that. They all have a story, like Coach said.
What's the story of the day?
So the NAU hat, I believe I got maybe last spring, I took a group down just on a random, quick random Tuesday to watch practice. And we walked around campus a little bit. And yeah, we got to watch the NAU practice, and the boys got to experience what a college practice is like. Got a little tour, could see the locker room, the stadium. Yeah, it was really really cool. And then I've been there another time too. It was the same couple months later. It was last summer. We went to their summer camp out there, which was a mega camp. Boys performed really well there. They got a brand new facility out there too. It's fantastic. It's not even a year old, brand new.
Yeah, they're all about the aerospace, huh?
Yeah, they have their aerospace stuff. There's a study chamber there, but what is it? They take the
underground.
They take the elevation room. It's not underground, but it's in their brand new facility. But it's an elevation room, so you can go in there and study and set the elevation. Say you're playing at somewhere where it's a higher or lower elevation, you can set the room there. It's like an elevation chamber. There's only one other place in the world. It's like the Olympic Training Center that has it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that doesn't even sound real.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. And I'm sure they'd use it a lot for the skiers and stuff like that. But yeah, it's kind of different. Kind of models Oregon's facility, training facility, but it was really sick. And then I got a young man there that I've trained, played for B-Gray, Ed Rambo. So shout out Ed Rambo. He's a corner, nickel type, great young man, great player, but more importantly, just a great person. So yeah, shout out to Ed. Yeah, with that being said,
let's move on to what is sevens.
We're gonna move on and talk about what is 7-on-7, and then it's a lot of people don't know. It's such a growing thing.
I like to think it's basketball mixed with football. I think it's a great way to explain it. It's schoolyard football at its finest.
Yeah, I mean, you have no linemen. This quarterback has all 4 seconds, which is a ton of time to cover somebody.
Absolutely, it's a gift.
Yeah, and the game is changing and always evolving. I think it started really getting hot about 10 years ago. A couple tournament circuits like Pylon, Battle, Shock Doctor. They really started, putting on some good stuff. And my first experience with 7-on-7 was actually with you when you were as a player.
Yeah, back at Damani.
Yeah. We would go over the bump. Because we coached in Reno. We'd go over the bump to Sacramento and play in kind of these backyard boogie tournaments.
Yeah, I didn't think it was anything to be taken seriously. I didn't even know what it was back then.
But yeah, we would go as our high school, though. It wasn't a club team. It was just something we did in the spring.
Training of sorts.
Yeah, some reps in the spring where we go over and we just get absolutely crushed. But we got to see like really great players, and for me,
we got a dub over the TMP.
We got better. We got better when you were older, right? But it just started off just getting
absolutely dominated.
Crushed. Yeah, absolutely crushed. But yeah, we did get better, and being like from a high school kind of made us better. And we were going to huddle, going super fast, played with a lot of chemistry. But it was something I never saw before, like these club teams, guys from different high schools. When I played in Vegas, there was no way this would have worked. Like I would not have wanted to play with, the homie from Riverview or
There were no homies from Riverview.
Exactly, like, it was just different. But it was cool. Like got to watch like Najee Harris play for TMP. God rest his soul, Spencer Webb was someone we played against and competed against in 7-on-7. And it was just interesting to me, seeing all these, Fallow, TMP had a lot of great players. But seeing these great players just come out and get reps in the spring, and I remember the first time seeing kids celebrate and do backflips when it's just different. It's exciting. It's different.
It's electric.
Yeah, it's electric, and it's not football. That's super important to understand. Like it's not football at all. It's passing concepts. It's open in space concepts, and there's goods and bads for it. As far as developing. For the quarterback, as long as you're teaching, real reads, stuff like that, it's great.
It can be beneficial, I think, wouldn't you say, to a football player? It can help a football player, but it also can be detrimental to them. It can hurt them.
I agree. Defensively, I think it makes DBs way better.
Way better.
They have no pads on. There's no rush. If you can cover a guy for 4 seconds in tights, it's going to make you way better in the spring.
I do remember being an outside linebacker and having to readjust from 7-on-7s because it was one of those things where you don't have to read run anymore.
Exactly.
You're just reading pass. And so there's this 2 or 3 months during summer camp where you have to just remember that everything's not 7-on-7s anymore. The run in a lot of cases is people's go-to.
Yeah. But it is, the way I explain it, the best way. I play travel club ball, and it is just a great way for the guys to get together, go out and compete and have fun, and the hotels and the Airbnbs and going somewhere. And that was something we were trying to do a little bit more this year, is make sure there was a little bit of team bonding going on. And I think this group we have this year.
I wish I could see them play on one team. I wish we could get them all to one school. I know it'd be unfair for everybody.
Crazy. Yeah, that would be crazy. But that's what makes it so cool. We get guys from all different high schools. And we're going to talk about the roster coming up here shortly. But but to answer your guys' question, 7-on-7 is it's a passing league, and it's exciting. There's a bunch of different tournaments that go on. Some are bigger than others, and this year we really wanted to hit the best tournaments in the country, like national tournaments.
Come on, OT7, I'm looking at you.
We're waiting for it, but we wanted our boys. We believed we had a group of kids that could compete with anyone in the country.
Especially, yeah.
And I think that they've proven that, and we're gonna that's what this episode's about. We're gonna talk about. We're pretty much through the season. I mean, we'll have a couple more tournaments, but with track going on,
got the icing on the cake left. Essentially,
it's just not really the main focus right now. Sevens is winter, and the spring track starts happening, and obviously spring ball. So getting the kids out to visits and to coaches and training, getting ready for combines and camps in the summer. But there'll probably be a couple more that will pop up. And but beside the point, we're gonna take a quick break. Talk about a couple of our sponsors, and when we come back, we're going to get into the season. We're going to get into our rosters, get into our boys, talk about our athletes, and dive into this last 2023 winter Be Great 7-on-7 season. All right.
Check out the other side.
Clock out.
We'd like to give a quick shout out to one of our favorite sponsors, One Click Logistics. One Click Logistics provides creative solutions for all your logistics needs, ranging from warehousing, distribution, and transportation. They offer logistics solutions for a wide range of industries, from apparel, paper products, medical devices, consumer products, sporting goods, and more. Their capabilities range from warehousing and distribution operations to value-added services such as repackaging, labeling, and light assembly. And having demonstrated the ability to service the needs of companies like Walmart, Target, Costco, and Home Depot, they've proven they can handle all of your logistics needs. One Click Logistics, your home for all of your logistics needs. Alright, we're back. Just want to give a big shout out to our sponsors. Thank you guys so much for all that you do.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We definitely couldn't do what we do without you guys. It's a huge part of being a nonprofit is, getting sponsors and trying to make the program as affordable as possible. So we appreciate everything you guys have done. You're literally creating greatness. You have no idea.
By proxy, you're changing lives.
Absolutely.
With that, let's get into our rosters. I'm going to take this beginning minute to talk about the Reno rosters because I truly believe in them and I think that they can do great things.
Yeah, there's one thing we wanted to do this year is expand the Reno, right? We want to let everybody know it's, Battleborn, the foundation is a Nevada foundation. We want to expose the great student athletes in Nevada as a whole. With me coaching in Reno for 5 years, I just know there's dogs out there. Great people, great student athletes. So there's one sitting right here.
Have talent, yeah. Let me bring it up with our quarterback first. Daxon Dayton goes to Reed. I think he's class of 25. And let's get the dog. He's not overly sized, but what he does bring to the game is his own trait, his own unique style. And everybody starts rallying around that. You can't have a quarterback, I think, at any level beyond high school if they don't have their own style that they bring to the game that people can rally around. I think it's so crucial. But moving on, I think Amari Nash is the person to look out for out of Reno. I think he's the dude.
Class of 26.
Class 26. I might just be saying this because I'm a Damani graduate, but I had some talks with the kid, and he's a grown man in a high schooler's body right now, and even that high schooler body is starting to look like a grown man body. Kid can make plays. He came down to Vegas this last weekend to help us out.
For a 15 team, yep.
Yeah,
he did.
Popped off too.
What is he, like 6'2"?
He was pushing 6'3" at least.
He's pushing 6'3". He's a class of 26. He's a freshman, going to be a sophomore. 4.0 GPA.
He just has an understanding of the field when he's on it. Understanding of space. And that's so important. You can't coach that. I don't care how good of a coach you are. You can't really teach people how to open themselves up in space.
For sure.
Next on we have Jaden Bunkner. I think he's class of 24 out of Minogue, and this kid's an animal. He just gets after it. He's one of those kids that's like, he wants the smoke. Okay. And you can't, that's something that you just want to see in a kid. That's something that they have to have. Yep. Jaden Bunkner wants to see what everybody else in the field got. He's ready to go head to head with anybody.
Receiver and safety, correct?
Receiver, safety, yeah.
About how big is he?
I would say he's about 5'10", 11, and then 175, 180.
All right.
But he plays bigger than he is.
I saw he made some plays.
Yeah.
Because they played in the TMP, the Avery Strong TMP, the same weekend as Pineline Mecca. What was it, February 25th, 26th?
Yeah.
He was making some big time plays.
Rip the ball out of another kid's hands. Yeah. That's something that, we talk about how 7-on-7 isn't the same as football, but a kid doing that is something that translates over to football 1,000 times out of 1,000.
Oh, you look good. You look really good. You can't coach competitiveness either.
Nah, it's just
can't coach dog.
Can't coach that dog. Perfectly said. On to the next one. Mario Williams, his classmate, also 24 if I'm not mistaken.
Winnow guy.
And there's not enough good things that I can say about Mario Williams. He's just one of those kids that believes in himself. He is there. He's growing as a leader. But he has room for growth as a leader, and that's something that I think is so beautiful. Right. And that he's actively going after it. Big kid, physical, likes to get after it.
What position?
He plays middle linebacker, and I think he's just a DPO. Okay. I think he used to be a lineman, which is the crazy thing. His freshman year.
Is he?
He is 6 foot 6'1", and then he's 200 pounds.
All right, Mario.
And then the last one I really want to touch on.
Fish, right?
Fish, yeah. Cody Fisher, I think. This kid is, I think he's 6'4". Well, you saw him, 6'4".
Yeah, he has some height on him.
6'4". Yeah, but he's a little skinny right now, but he has the opportunity to fill out. I think he's class of 25. But he's one of those kids where you meet him and you're like, there's no way this kid could be a football player. I don't know why he even showed up. I don't know what he's doing. And then all of a sudden he starts making some plays and he starts really going hard on people. It's something to see.
Okay, and what school is he at?
He's at Reno High School right now. And looking at the roster, I think they're going to be contending for the North up there. I think it's going to be Minogue, Reno coming down to it at the end of the season.
They just hired a coach of a friend of mine former coach of yours as well,
Yes.
Winch. Congratulations, Coach Winch, on your first head coaching job.
Shout out Coach Winch.
Yeah, I know he's gonna coach these guys up and get them out there. I know on the Reno team too, kid got hurt, pulled his hamstring, but Champ noticed.
Yeah,
he's a guy at Reno that can make some plays. He's the class of 24.
He's definitely someone to look out for.
Inside backer, strong safety type.
He's a leader.
What about Breck Worthen?
Oh, Breck Worthen,
yeah,
like he's got some X factor to him.
He's one of those, looks physical.
He's one of those dudes that I wouldn't want to be on the other side of him, no matter the size. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm twice the height as the kid and twice as heavy. Like, he's just a player. He's a baller. Kid will get after it.
Okay, very nice. Anyone else on the Reno chapter? Be Great 775.
Chris Winters. I would keep an eye out for him. He's shifty. Yeah, he's slot receiver. He's a nose down, like, he's angry when he doesn't, not angry when he doesn't get the ball, but he's like, he wants every play to be made. He's a perfectionist. That's what I love about the kid. Like, if it's not going right, give it to him. He will make it go right.
Okay. All right.
He is that guy. He's the fixer.
The Winters kid, also at Reno. Right, Reno
High
School.
Also at Reno High School.
Okay.
Like we're saying, they got a team. They're starting to build up. I see it bubbling.
Sure. And there's another Damani kid. He wasn't able to make it, but I like him. DJ.
Yeah, I don't know.
Williams.
I think so. Yeah.
I think his last name is Williams. Kid's good.
He is good.
Athletic, can play corner. I know he's like a running back corner type, but
I think he needs to tighten up a little bit. But if he does, the sky is the limit.
He's a little raw. Yeah. Whose job is that?
That's our job.
That's coach's job.
Yeah.
Shout out to the coaches in the Reno chapter. It's Ty Allison, former player, excellent. Definitely could have been a D1 guy, receiver, all-state receiver in Nevada. Another kid, Justin Harley, was a DB. He's working with the defense. He's a great coach as well, great mind.
Absolutely. Go-getter.
And then, their head coach, Carson Pitts, just excellent football mind. He coaches high school ball out there at Reno High School.
He's gonna be be a great shaper of young men. I truly believe that.
Great coach, and he's just more importantly, he's like Coach Virgil just said, he
helps players become better people.
Yes, absolutely. And then Coach Virgil helps out with the defense as well. But yeah, excited for that group. Oh, Cameron Emerson. Yeah, and
can't forget about the man.
He's the quarterback coach at Reed High School. Really, really awesome to have him around. I heard he has a great football IQ. He's a guy who just shot a text like, hey, we need some coaches. We need a couple guys. And he stepped up big time.
Sure did.
We appreciate you.
Got a smile on his face always.
Yeah, Coach Emerson. I coached against him, and he was definitely a worthy adversary.
He got that dog in him for sure.
Got dog in him. We beat him one time, and he got us back the next year. But he's I heard he was a great kid, a great young man, great kid, an even better coach. So we're excited to have him on board as well. And we're excited for that group. We have another tournament coming up in San Jose with the Reno team, and I think they're just going to do even better. They went 1-1-1.
1-1-1.
Yeah,
and I've been talking to Coach this year. He'll attest. I've been talking his ear off. I just told him not 5 minutes before. I think this team can compete. Not even compete. I think they can beat anybody in the Northern California area. Quote me on it. I'll stand on it. We can play with any of them out there.
We'll see. Just got to get out and compete for sure. But moving on, we're going to touch on our 15U a little bit. Just trying to touch base on a lot of guys in our program. 15U, we got 2 quarterbacks, Ashton Hunt and Gavin Day. Both of them have been pretty solid all year. I mean, 15U has been a development program. They're definitely getting better and better and better each tournament, learning how to play the right game. And a lot of them never even played 7-on-7 before. At least not the kind of tournaments we're going to.
Yeah, and they got a fresh coaching staff, which is all melding together right now. They're sort of figuring.
Former Be Great guys, former players. And they're doing a great job as well, holding practices on their own and getting these guys to buy in.
The future.
Yeah, I mean, the last 2 tournaments they've played 18U, and they actually got a win in the Cam Newton tournament this last weekend, which was awesome.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but guys like that.
18U too. Can get a win in the 15U, move them up.
And they're competing on 18U, probably even better. And it's definitely the future is looking bright. Really because they're playing 18U tournaments. So now the games next year, it's going to be slow motion for them.
Yeah, it is.
But Gavin Day, Ashton Hunter, the quarterbacks, they do a really good job. They're getting better and better and developing. You got guys like Jabari Christmas. He's at Centennial High School. He's what?
Kid's an animal.
6'1".
He's gonna be something scary.
175 and just can fly. Go get the ball. Free safety type. Can play corner. Definitely can play receiver. Great player.
Pure athlete.
Another kid named Ethan Marcos. He's also at Centennial. He's a receiver. Call him Stretch him. He actually just broke his wrist, so I hope he broke it in the Cam Newton tournament. But I hope he's getting more healthy and getting better and coming back strong.
He's got something there for sure.
For sure. Shout out to Nehemiah Dunlap. I mean, he's 13 years old.
Up.
Yeah, 13 years old. Just really, really getting out there and competing with the big boys, and he's a guy that we're really proud of watching him grow.
Yeah, by the time that kid's a senior in high school, man, his football IQ is going to be infinite.
I agree. I mean, he also is a leader. He's 13 years old. He's probably the heartbeat of that football team.
Which is crazy. Right? You can't say that about very many other people that young.
Yeah, he's not scared to lead. Doesn't matter how old he is, and he does a really good job, and we're proud of him to have him in the program.
Yeah, I'm excited for his future for sure, to say the least.
They got little, guys, safeties. CJ Sorrell, he's a killer. He's also a legacy. His brother's a coach, played for GR8, but he's the defensive captain of that team, no doubt.
For sure.
Communicator. He's going to be a great nickel type. Could play free. Is always around the ball. They got a kid named Matthew Mason, also a free safety. This kid probably has 10 interceptions on the season. I'm not lying. He flies around. He's always around the football as well.
Elite at what he does.
Yeah, he's very, very good at what he does. He's also super physical, which doesn't matter in 7-on-7, but after evaluating his film, he's going to be a killer. I think he'll be a strong safety type. And there's some other guys. There's a guy, Sincere Harvey's on that team. He's a slot receiver. He's going to do big things for them. There's a kid named Donovan Glover on that team, also a basic kid. And he's something that I really, really, he kind of came out of nowhere. Yeah, Sincere I had last year, but he kind of came out of nowhere, and I'm like, who is this kid? And he can go. He can go, yeah.
Someone to look out for on the GR8 18U teams?
For sure. And he might even get some run earlier, coming up soon on the 18U, but he can go, absolutely. I'm excited to see what he does and what he can do. There's some other guys, got some other faith kid, IAPA. He can go too. He's like a corner receiver type. But yeah, the 15U just has a lot of heart. They got a slot receiver named Cross. He's at Arborview. His brother Marcus, he plays only defense, and they do a great job. Both of them are usually always where they need to be. Cross doesn't drop the ball.
Each other.
Yeah, exactly. But the 15U just got to keep pushing. Proud of them for getting their first win. Like you said, Amari Nash came down and played.
It's been a long road for them too. They got heart to keep fighting.
What I will say, and I don't think anybody's quit. Yeah. They didn't win a game the first 3 tournaments. Dogfight.
Yeah, and it's not like they were getting blown out either. I was watching them. All of them were just heartbreakers.
They would play, probably 12 minutes of really good football and 13 minutes of really bad football. And that's just being young. That's just figuring out how to win.
Yeah, how to work yourself, how to work your
as
game.
a team. And it's tough sometimes. You get guys coming from all different schools. You're trying to get everyone to play, but...
and oftentimes when you're getting into something like that, you'll have these personalities start conflicting with each other, especially when things aren't going right. That's the biggest thing. It's easy when everything's winning and everybody's going on, everything's perfect, but once the wheels start falling off, once some losses start happening, are these people going to stick together or not?
For sure. And then in sevens, there's just a ton of movement. Everyone's just looking for the next next thing and this and that. But that group stuck together. They did not quit. The staff kept that group going, and really proud of that staff. Let's talk about them a little bit. You got Nigel Griffin, former B-grade guy, went to Desert Races, was a great player. He helps with the defense. Darion Thomas, former player of mine for B-grade. He was actually the first B-grade player. Amazing person.
Yeah. One of my favorite dudes in the program.
He works with the DBs all in the program. But just, was with the first B-grade group ever. I mean, he's literally a godfather of
the program,
literally, when we had 20 guys, maybe 15 guys. The first B-grade tryout ever, 2 people showed up, and Darion was one of them.
Can't say enough about that.
Can't say enough about that. And he's all in. He does a great job. We have Jaden Isham Downing. He works with the offense. His brother plays.
Been a rider.
And then Caden Sorrell, as well. He does a great job.
I've been so impressed by how much he's been locking in on this.
I think Caden's going to be a great coach.
I think so too. It'd been one of those things where it's easy to kind of mess around, let your head get loose. But I've been watching him, and he's been.
It's noticeable.
Yeah, it's everything with him. I love it. I can't get enough of it.
He's going to be a great coach. He is, and he does a good job. I mean, him, Coach Griffin, both have brothers on the team, and they definitely separate those relationships. And Really proud of that staff. They're going to be really, really good in the future. But yeah, let's move on to the two 18U teams in Vegas. So we'll talk about Elite first.
Let's save the best for last, baby.
Yeah, we'll talk about Elite first. Always got to start with the quarterback. So we got Alex Rogers.
I'm a rider.
About him. Yeah, love Alex.
Yeah,
love Alex Rogers. Definitely has the clutch gene. Sitting at about 6'2", probably about 205 right now, roughly 200, 205.
Yeah.
Lefty, high football IQ, and just, again, if you need a touchdown thrown, like, he's going to get it done.
I had my first experience of, like, playing with him as I was my first defensive coordinating experience this past weekend, and he was the quarterback for that team. Kid came up to me after the game, and I was like, hey, you can't wear it so heavy. And he goes, Coach, I'm going to wear everything. This is my team. If the defense messes up, that's on me. If the offense messes up, that's on me. If we don't win, that's on me. If we win, it's on me. And that, to me, from now on, forever until forever, I will ride for Alex Rogers. He's that guy.
Yeah, I've seen some in him. We've been around a good quarterback.
Yeah, I know what a good quarterback looks like, and that's a good quarterback right there. That's an amazing quarterback.
We've been around a guy who can go a little bit.
Yeah,
you know,
knows a thing or two.
Knows a thing or two about how to lead, and yeah, you can definitely see it in him. Really proud of his growth this offseason. He's definitely the future of this program, and yeah, he made some great plays all throughout the winter season. Moving on, his probably biggest target is
EJ.
Ewan Carter out of Desert Pines. Alex goes to Faith, by the way. They have so does Gavin Davis.
You haven't seen a player like EJ yet. I'm gonna tell you guys right now.
EJ's definitely special.
Yeah,
goes to Desert Pines. He's an athlete. But he plays receiver. I think he can definitely play on the defensive side of the ball.
I think he has some of the most natural talent that I've ever seen. Like it almost feels like it's on accident sometimes. The kid's writing poetry out there. We have this picture of him after we won our tournament this week, and he was doing a backflip, and the kid's at least 5 feet in the air. Like,
yeah, he's different. I'm pretty sure he jumps over a 40-inch vertical because I know what a 40-inch vertical looks like, and he's pushing that
right
for
there.
sure. Yeah, he and just an interesting and just amazing young man. Only 15 years old. He's a sophomore. So he's a true no reclass.
Good person, fun to talk to.
Yeah,
like
really mature for his age, and he's only going to grow as a better young man and a better player.
You said he's 15, right?
He's only 15. I truthfully think, though, like, and you're hearing it right now. Yeah, if you're hearing it first, like, I truthfully do believe, like, he can play at any level as long as, you know, he keeps his head right and stays focused and attacks the classroom. But I don't think there's any limit to what he can do on a football field.
No, there's not.
Yeah, he's different. So remember that, EJ Carter, and he's been doing great for us all year. We're excited to have him in the program. Next guy, he's a returner, is Mason Aday. Goes to Faith. He just catches everything.
Yeah. So reliable.
He just catches everything. And he also is an ultra competitor. Him and Alex have a connection as well. And
he's got a little swag about him, too.
Mason has some soul to him.
Yeah, sure. That's what I'm saying. He's got that X factor.
Yeah. He's going to do big things. He's gearing up for just a huge senior year. So
he's going into his senior year this year?
Going into his senior year.
Yeah. He's going to be just fine.
Coming off a growing injury, we didn't have him in January, but it's been nice having him back the last 3 tournaments.
Yeah, and like I was saying, I was doing my defensive coordinating this weekend for the first time, and he's one of those kids that, like, you can just, Mason, go do this. He's going to go do it. He will do anything to win. I love that.
He's going to do it, yeah. Next guy we'll talk about is Mac Ford, also out of Faith Lutheran. The elite team is just, like, pretty much has a lot of faith in Desert Pines kids. Which I like. That. It's a different mix, right? Like,
yeah.
You get the Faith kids, you know, obviously they're where they are, and then you get the DP kids. Just the dynamic where unless Be Great existed, these guys probably would never be hanging out. I'm just being honest, you know, and they're best friends. They love each other. It's really cool getting the different cultures around each other. But Mac is a really, really good athlete, strong, fast, also jumps freaking crazy in the air. Yeah. And reliable hands. I know when we were in Hero, and we'll get into the tournaments, but he was just probably the most reliable for the elite team catching the rock.
He's a quiet kid, too.
Doesn't talk. Yeah. Silent assassin.
Those are the kind of kids that scare me.
Yeah. Class of 25 as well. So is EJ. So is Alex. So, like, you know, these guys are just building chemistry to create something really, really special next year. Yeah. But yeah, Max, awesome. Moving on, you got a guy named Cole Keith. He's a linebacker out of Faith. He's been doing great. I think he's going to do great things for them. He's a class of 25 as well, so he's looking to win a job at Faith this year, either inside or outside. But he's like a curl flat guy, long. He's probably like 6'2", 6'3". He's growing every day.
Did I get to see him this weekend?
He wasn't there this weekend. No, okay. He wasn't there this weekend. He was in Arizona though. Moving on, you got Bo Sampson, who played with us most of the beginning of the year. He broke his finger right before battle, but I was really kind of sucked right when he broke his finger because he really started to figure it out. He's at Legacy High School, slot receiver. His brother was our quarterback last year, Richie, but Bo was just starting to figure out his game and get some confidence. He played really good in Hero. I mean, he was going crazy.
Yeah.
And then it's unfortunate, injuries happen. That's part of the game. It's part of being an athlete.
Make me crack my knuckles right now.
Yeah, but he's looking for a good comeback. I'm hoping he can. We go to Dallas in April. I'm hoping he can come back and play because he was really just starting to find his confidence, find his groove. Another slot guy, and this elite is loaded with slot receivers. I think some of the best in the state, but this young man is Jacob Abbott out of Sunrise Mountain, class of 24.
Yeah, this man is. He brings me happiness when I watch him play. Like, he's one of those kids that I think he understands the game of football well and loves it. He loves every detail of it. He's a kid who enjoys being on the field. Some kids, it looks like they're like fighting war out there. Like, I remember back when I was playing, I was like, I'm a soldier, Wasn't necessarily always fun. Abbott is always having fun, and he always knows how to self-check himself. Like, he always knows where he can get better. He is watching himself. He's another coach out on the field.
He's coaching himself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
After the first game, this last weekend, he was kind of like, Coach, I played awful. I'm like, you did. I was talking defensively. Offensively, he played fine. But defensively, he made some mistakes, and I didn't have to go tell him. He came to me like, Coach, I played awful today. I'm like, and I didn't say, yeah, you did. I was like, well, you could have been better.
And that's not the X factor. That's the Y factor right there.
For sure.
That's how up you can go. And I think the sky's the limit for him if he truly applies himself.
I agree. He's been awesome to have around. New in the program this year. Didn't know what I was going to get with these, but he's been awesome to have around. I really, really look forward to mentoring him and pushing him to be the best person.
I love the kid. I truly do. I run through a brick wall for him.
Another kid, I absolutely love is Michael Sajor. Centennial guy, class 25 as well.
Yep.
Another slot receiver, freak athlete.
Yeah, he is.
So fast, can jump.
He's got that twitch muscle about him.
Yeah, twitchy, but new to football and has been learning. I think this season has been awesome for him, learning the game.
I think as his confidence blooms, he as a player is going to just become something scary. Yeah, for a lot of schools down here.
More and more confident each tournament, Just more and more confidence each tournament, and it's been.
I think that's the source for him too.
For sure, it's been cool to see. He made a hell of a big play for us.
Yeah,
and it was much needed for him and the team. I mean, and
he kind of he bobbled it and then caught it, and then after that, for the rest of the tournament, he was just solid. Yeah, he was just
smooth.
It's one of those things where I'm seeing it bloom. I love it.
And that's something about coaching is watching the confidence grow. There's nothing better than that.
Yeah.
So
that's our job right there.
High on him, and he's had a great 7-on-7 season. It's only going to make him have a great fall. So we're excited for him. Here's a kid, class 26, freshman. We were super high on.
Super different. Yeah. I don't understand it.
Louis Jaime. He's out of Desert Pines. EJ's brother. They call each other brothers. And Louis is special. Long, has Soldier. A 4.0 GPA, by the way.
Soldier. He's just outstanding in every aspect that a college coach is looking for.
For sure.
Like, Coach Bosley, one of our coaches on the elite team, my offensive coordinator, this weekend came up to us and he had drove EJ, Louis, and who else down? Tyreek down. And Coach Bosley was like, yeah, he's the mom of the group. He's the one when they're like...
And he's the youngest out of the three.
Yeah, he's the youngest out of the three. He's like, I need them down at 7:30. They all turn to Louis, and we're like, all right, he's got us. That's something that I think every college coach wants on their team in some capacity.
And,
everybody wants in their locker room,
Yeah. We talked about it, just a dog. Like, I remember he never drops the ball, catches everything. Louis catches everything. But he dropped a touchdown in this last tournament, and I was like, hey, because it was night and it kind of was dark over there. I'm like, did you lose it in the sun? Or did you lose it in the light? And he's like, yeah, coach, but that's not an excuse. And I just love that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, coach, but that don't matter.
That's something that everybody wants.
Yeah, like, So different demeanor, different mentality. I know UCLA was very interested in him, particularly because of his grades. For his size as a freshman and have a 4.0, I mean, he's just going to have, and already have film as a freshman. It's just he's going to have so many opportunities, and we're excited to, also
I'm excited to watch him grow as a person
and a player. Yeah, for sure. Also, next, a basic guy. We're kind of plugged at basic, but Maverick is from Downing. Slot receiver, can play outside too, extremely fast. People don't get that. And Maverick is one of those kids that once he gets the ball and he gets going, if he can get the ball in like a drag,
he's an Allen Iverson.
He's not going to get caught. He's just extremely fast. And he's been dealing with a hamstring issue all season, but he's been pushing through.
I really think he's like
better.
Another one of our favorite Mavericks, Luka Doncic. He's one of those guys where you just get him into the game. The more you get him going, the more he's going to be able to produce. He's one of those dudes. He's a volume type of cat. And
also a returner who's been back. Be great loyal. Yeah, be great legacy. All right, moving on.
Got CP next.
Tobias, Carrington Pauly. What do you think about CP? He goes by CP. Out of legacy, probably sitting at about 5'6", maybe 150.
Is he 5'6", really?
Yeah.
He plays bigger than that. He really does.
He's probably maybe 5'7".
Really? That's
I
crazy.
don't know. Is he taller than me?
No, he's about as tall as you. I mean,
he's probably 5'7".
But the kid
plays like he's 6'3".
Yeah, the kid is just locked down. I trust him at corner fully and thoroughly. Like, he's one of those kids. He's not going to make a mistake. He's not going to let anything get to him. He's solid upstairs, and that's one of the most important things.
He is, and he's a really good kid. He's a class of 24, but he should be a 25. He's super young for his class.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I wish I had him another year. Yeah, but he's smart. He has great technique. He's always in alignment's always right. It makes plays when you need him to make plays. He played great on Sunday.
Yeah, he did.
He played great.
He played great all weekend.
Yeah, he did.
He was the only person. I'm not trying to trash on anybody in the league, but he was the only person that consistently I didn't even need to think about him. There was no worries in my mind.
I would take that back. I would say, and we'll talk about good move guys. Lawrence Taylor
That's
Jr.
true.
Like,
that is true. No, yeah, both of our corners this weekend
just, on elite were just outstanding.
Yeah, I can't even lie. I take that back. I do take that back. Put some respect on Lawrence's name.
Yeah, who's a class of 25 corner at Liberty High School. Also would be great. His brother played for...
Talk about him next.
Yeah, his brother played for me, Ray Sean Maker, who I love. Ray was one of my... Ray was with me since he was a freshman. Love Ray.
LT is an adult.
LT is very mature. Yeah. Him and his brother are very different.
I don't know his brother.
I love Ray, but they're very different. But I love LT because he's a coach. I'm a corner. Is always trying to get work in. Has a high GPA as well.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen anybody who I probably have, but like right now, just anybody who wants it more. He does.
He really wants to be
bad.
great. Yeah. And that's really a lot of being great. Like there's some people who are just kind of naturally great, but they'll lose it because they don't want to be great.
He
wants greatness so bad.
Yeah, and I mean, I think football might be one of his things, but even if football isn't, he's one of those people that I know he's going to be fine through it all.
Yeah, for sure.
He just wants it. He can't teach that. You can't coach that. You can't give that to somebody. Someone who wants it is someone who's going to be special.
Absolutely. Moving on, we got an 8th grader on our team. His name's Makai Mitchell, and he was with me last year. Then he was kind of looking for a 7th team. I let him come out and compete with us. He's in 8th grade, and he got a little bit of running game. It was his first tournament with us. Came to one practice, but I just know he's going to be great. Like that's a future D1 football player.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's got a little bit of growing up to do, but when I was in 8th grade, I had so much growing up to do.
For sure.
That I can't hate on that. Like the kid's going to be fine. He's going to be A-okay.
Yeah, and then this is a guy, freshman, I'm really high on, is Jordan Drayton. Super big for his size. I think Jordan's probably and he's growing. He's probably at least 6'2". At least 6'1", but growing. So, he's going to be 6'2" by season.
At least.
170 probably right now. Plays receiver, plays free. I think he's a free safety, but I'm biased. I think everyone's a defensive player over an offensive player. I just know that there's not a lot of guys who can cover as much ground as he can.
And not many people who have such a natural feel like he does. He's one of those players that does just understand when people are coming in and out of his zone and where that he can go find and make a play at.
Absolutely. Had a bad Saturday, dropped a couple balls, but then responded on Sunday, made a huge interception.
Thankfully, on the goal line. Coach got to say thank you for that. That's my first interception. But the fact that he's a freshman right now is mind blowing. That's all I'm gonna say.
For sure. Speaking of freshmen, Ryan Balbalki.
Yeah, another kid that you would not eye-wise. You're at least like he's a junior.
Yeah, animal. I mean, huge, giant kid. Plays inside backer. Never played linebacker before. Always only played line. And he's picking it up really quick.
To be honest, I'm a little hard on him. He needs it a little bit, but I'm a little hard on him. Yeah. But I really do think that kid's gonna hit a certain curve, and once he does, he's going to be unstoppable.
Yeah, and he's at Bishop Gorman, and he's probably 6'2", 230 as a freshman.
Yeah, which is just
and he can move okay. Like it's not like he can't move bad. Like he moves okay.
His biggest problem right now is his ears, but I think that's something that he's like. I can see him trying to learn it. I can see it's there.
For sure. And the last guy we'll talk about on elite is Isaac Cibrand, and he's at Palo Verde. He's just a program guy. He's been around. He's going to always be where he's supposed to be.
Absolute soldier. Period.
He's a soldier. He's always going to be where he's supposed to be, and we ask a lot of him defensively, move him outside, move him inside, move him to safety, but we just know that he's capable of doing all
He is things. Flexible.
Yeah. Biggest thing with him is him finding his voice a little bit, but I think he has, and he will, and it's only going to make him better and better. So he's definitely a lot better finding his voice than last season. Okay, moving on, the Battleborn team, and one thing I do want to say is there's tournaments where it's all mixed. It's sometimes elite and Battleborn mix. We're a program. So, there's times where guys can't make it. I move a guy up for a lead. Or I also want to try to make the rosters best where everyone's getting as much playing time as possible. So some of these guys have played on Elite. Some of these guys have played on Battleborn. It just kind of bounces around. Moving on. We'll talk about the quarterback first on Be Great Battleborn.
Tyree Smith. Animal.
He is an animal.
He's gonna be great on a college roster at some point. I can just tell he's one of those dudes where everybody magnates around him, everybody follows his lead, and you can't say enough about that. Like, I don't have words for how great of a quarterback Tyree Smith really is.
Yeah, really outstanding young man and kid too. 3.5 GPA. Family's great. Can sling it. Starts at Liberty High School. Started as a junior. Led them to the state semifinals. And I think he's just this whole offseason he's getting better and better and better.
Yeah,
he's a guy like Coach. We can go back to that. Hey, we can do this. Hey, Coach, can we do this? He's always having great ideas.
He's maturing without losing that kid-like passion about the game.
For sure, and he's a leader. No ifs, ands, or buts. He's a guy that's a born leader. And guys gravitate to him. And I said this is my first year really only doing one quarterback. We did the tryout. I wanted to do 2 quarterbacks each team. He was going to be my guy, and then he was supposed to have another guy, and you rotate your guys, and on Sunday you figure it out.
I like the switch for you,
it wasn't necessary. The guy that was supposed to play ended up quitting, and I think a lot of it was to do because Reese was the quarterback, and nothing against that guy, whether he didn't want to compete or whatever, because it would have been and it ended up rocking with Reese, and I love it. Because
I think it's turned out for the better.
I think you get a better relationship with your receivers that way. Can't say enough about Tyree Smith. He's a great young man. I know UNR is on him pretty tough right now. I know this weekend he opened up some eyes too, but we'll talk about that later as we get into it. He's gonna have a huge senior year, and I know I'm definitely excited for his future and gonna do everything I can to get him to the next level.
He really is just one of those dudes that everybody in the program rallies around. Yeah. All in all, even myself, I'm a coach. I'm supposed to be the one having the boys rally around me. I find myself rallying around Tyrese's natural just confidence and mental at peace. I don't know exactly what the word is, but he's just always at peace.
Yeah. Really, really, yeah. Couldn't be more proud of the way he's led us this year for sure. And then moving forward, you got Jaden Robertson. This roster, all right. So just even picking back before, this roster was pretty much like an invited roster. I didn't coach this fall. So I'm going out and I'm going to go out all season, watch ball, watch their highlights, right? I really want to know. I want to know who the best players in the state are.
And right? Jaden Robertson
and I'm going to say this right now. Jaden Robertson is the best football player in Nevada. And
straight up.
I'm not saying he's the best receiver. I'm not saying he's the best DB. I'm not saying he's the best returner. Overall, everything that he will do for a football team, he is the best, most valuable player on any team. He's an Army Swiss knife.
Let me say, this kid can lead. He can make big plays. He can fill in the gaps where any team might have one. he just doesn't quit.
He can play quarterback if you need him, so he probably can kick. You know what I mean? And his leadership is just growing tremendously. He's becoming way more mature in that aspect of things. But
that might have been the only thing that you had to question about him, but now it's not even in the conversation. The kid, I was talking about this with Coach earlier today. I seen on a ball that Andre Porter caught we'll get into that later, but a ball that Andre Porter caught, they posted online, they didn't tag Andre. Jaden's in the comments telling them to tag Andre because that's the type of kid he is. He's someone who's going to look out for his teammates before himself, and I think it's beautiful. I think it's so beautiful the way he goes about it because he does it with his own style and his own personality.
Yeah, ultra competitor, reminds me a little bit of how I was when I was his age. Very misunderstood. People can misunderstand you when you're the way, when you're like that. And you just kind of have to, I'm not going to ask my boys to change at all. I'm going to ask them to grow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we're not going to try to change anybody. And nor should they try to change me. And that's why I love my boys and my program. No one's trying to change me. And I have some questionable tactics, to say the least.
But we ride.
But we got some riders. And, can't say enough about Jaden. He's definitely going to be a D1 guy, and really excited for his future. Should have some big visits coming up, some big camps coming up this summer. He's definitely going to open up some eyes, have a huge senior year. So excited for him.
Yeah, man, he's different. He's the truth.
Next guy we'll talk about is Matai Tagoa. I think he'll end up being a 5-star defensive back.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I didn't even know I thought he was going to be a senior this year until...
No, he's a junior, class of 25.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. 6'4", about 190, 195, has a frame. He can end up being 210, 215 if he wants, depends.
This kid can go anywhere in the country he wants.
Yeah, extremely physical, comes downhill. Did a really good job this weekend in the tournament. And all year he's played really fantastic for us. Played extremely well in battle.
Yeah.
We'll get into that too, but...
I like to think I'm a person who can read people extremely well down to like their core when I first meet him and evaluate people really well. I think me and Coach share that pretty much in common, but one thing I can say about this kid is I can just see that there's this untapped well of potential that it scares me how deep it might go. Like, I really don't know what this kid can do because I know he can do that much.
Yeah, he definitely has the look, of greatness. I was able to be around guys like Bryce Harper growing up and playing sports. It's like and even just being around, guys like Cade, and athletes like David Washer, like they're walking around and there's an aura about them. Like, this is just a stepping stone to something way better, and we're just witnesses, and that's awesome. I mean, to witness the greatness, the greatness level. Starting at its greatness from the starting point. It's sick, but he's a guy who could have played for anyone in the country, and he decided to rock with us this year, and I'm very
always respect him for it.
Yeah, I always respect him for it, and I'm excited to rock with him next year too, and we're gonna just continue to get better and better and better. His offers holds about 14, 15 offers right now, and they're gonna continue to stack up as again he has a big spring with visits and camps and etc. So. Proud of the kid, excited for his future. He's a leader,
too.
Yeah.
We didn't even touch on that. Kid's an absolute natural born leader.
Absolutely. Moving forward, Andre Porter. Love Andre Porter. Whew. Okay, before we even get into athletic ability, amazing human being.
Human being. Talk about a person that just brings a smile to everybody around them. I swear, he is... He's the lightheartedness of this team. He is the way that we can have fun. Everybody just... starts bouncing off of him once he starts really going. And that's the best way I can explain it, is bouncing off of him. Right? Is just, he has this smile on his face that could make the entire world smile. Truthfully. Yeah, and then you go on the athletic stuff, he's a dog. Crazy. Kid's a dog. And he's a guy too, no offers, 3.5 GPA, about 6'2.5", pushing 6'3", 230. He's an animal. Hopefully we can pull up the clip, but the kid can do, he can do back half, round offs, backflips. I mean, it's unbelievable. Catching the ball one-handed, playing defense, getting interceptions, covers a lot of space inside, very coachable. This is again why I started this team. We have all these great and unique players in their own way, and they don't have offers, and I don't understand. Yeah, and I think we've gone out and we actually got the chance to talk to his mother over the weekend, and one thing she said about him, which really stuck out to me, because parents love to talk up their kids, but I asked a question that's kind of tough. I was like, what do you think makes him different? And she said, Andre is a kid that once he decides he's going to do something, he just goes out and does it. And he doesn't ever sacrifice anything when he's going out to do it. He just does whatever he wants. And that's exactly how I explain him on the football field.
For sure. Like, quick story about Andre. He plays basketball for Liberty, defending state champions. We have a tournament, Pylon Mecca, and we play at night. The state championship was against Durango, was at 3:30. And I'm just like, there's no way Andre's even playing in this tournament. Yeah. Like, focus on winning state. And I'm big on that. School sports are first. We're a club. And yeah, he said he was going to be there. I'm like, he's probably not going to show up. No problem. He has a game. We're in Mesquite, about to get warmed up. I checked the score.
About an hour away from Vegas, right?
Yeah. And I checked the score, and I'm just like, oh, they lost. Like, I'm not going to see Andre today. Like, I know me as a competitor, if I just lost probably any game, particularly a state championship, I'm going to my room. I'm putting on my headphones. I'm locking it, whatever.
Can't find me.
Yeah, I'm out. Andre pulls up. Next thing I see Andre, getting ready for warm-up. So I'm just like, how are you here right now? He's like, oh, coach, I made a commitment. And this is where I want to be. And that showed me so much about him. And I gained so much respect for him. Yeah.
Made a commitment. That's so big. Yeah. Someone who can just stick by their commitments no matter what else comes around to it.
That was huge. That says just a lot about his character. But he's a guy, too, that is a D1 football player, period. And we're going to make sure that happens. We do everything in our everything that we're capable of as an organization to make sure that happens. Because this is what I do with trying to get kids to college. Okay? First things first, right, are the grades. Do they have the grades? That is, actually, let's take that back. The most important thing is character. Do they have good character? Okay? And these three have to be checked if we're going to make any phone call, send out anything for any kid, right? The first thing are the character. Okay? The next thing is you have to have the grades. Okay? And then the third thing is the ability, right? And a lot of times you get the ability, then no grades. Or you might get ability and grades, and then you just get an asshole, a kid that I just won't vouch for, right? But all these kids, they check all the boxes. Yeah. They have the grades, they have the ability, and they have the character, right?
I'd jump off a bridge for any of these kids.
Yeah.
Because I know the depth of their character at this point. It's there.
Yeah. And then, this is a lot of kids we're going to go through, but I hope I don't forget any. Remind me if I do, but... Moving forward, guy literally only got to play with us for like 4 snaps. First term of the year. He was a dude I found up in Reno, actually. Yeah. His name's Dominic Marcanato.
Yeah.
Animal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He reminds me of myself if I got to create an NBA 2K my player and play football with him.
Yeah, he's just a beast. I mean, fast, strong. Probably, I don't know. He's probably sitting at like
200. At least
200, 6 feet, runs, pushing a 4.4, catches everything, is extremely
moves like a shark in the water.
Physical. Yeah, he does. He runs just so aggressively. Like, I was a physical player, but going head to head, that's just a nightmare.
Yeah. I would not want to see him on the field, respectfully. And there's not many people I'd say that about.
And he's getting some interest. He's getting like some Navy interest, Air Force interest. His grades are great. I'm hoping the Wolfpack pull through for him. You know what I mean?
I'm just hoping he doesn't get slept on from where he's at. It's easy to sleep on people in Reno. I hope he doesn't get slept on for being a Reno kid.
It's the point of doing this podcast literally right now in this organization, right?
Yeah.
To make sure that doesn't happen, right? So we're going to do everything we can with him. But Dominic is an animal. Animal.
Certified.
State championship, played against Gorman. The score was like 56-6, or I think it was 70-6. Who scored the 6? Dominic Marcanato. You know what I mean? So... He's a dude that can play at an elite level, high level, and he only played 3 plays for us. He scored a touchdown in 3 plays. In 3 plays that he played, he got hurt on the touchdown, but he caught a ball. Second play was not thrown to him. Third play, he scored a touchdown.
And even talk about coming into the weirdest situation. I think Dewan said this he's like, this kid doesn't even know us, and he was scoring with us.
He flew in. He flew in that day. Meets the team that day. He did come to the tryout.
Yeah.
Reno's a tundra, so we tried to get him to a couple practices. It's just either snowing or crazy, but he was a guy who's just and Dad's great. He's like, hey man, we trust you with him, and they flew him out. And even when he was hurt at the house, he was able to bond with the team and hang out with the team. He's a really good kid, and I think his future's bright. But and he's out in Reno. We're gonna do everything we can to make sure he gets the exposure he deserves. Next guy, Jackson Carpenter. Real big body. He's at Arborview High School. He's sitting at 6'5". About 220, 225.
Freak of nature.
Freak. and growing. He's the guy who's been with me since day one. His dad is one of our coaches as well. Battleborn, he's our defensive coordinator. Shout out to Coach Cart.
Great kid too.
Great kid, and 4.3 GPA.
Naturally,
just never got a B in his life. I mean, just extremely intelligent. It's been awesome to grow and into the man, watching him grow into the man he's become. I remember when I've been working with him since he was in middle school. And I was training him in 8th grade, and he was starting to grow, and he was like just this big old clumsy Bambi. And I don't. Now he's a grown man.
I haven't even known him like that. I've only been really around the program for about a year now, but I can say that I have seen a growth in him over the 5 tournaments that have been played, and that speaks volumes, because if he's constantly growing, then that means there is no limit to what he can do.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
So, he's getting some interest too. I know UNLV likes him. Arizona State likes him. Again, this camp's going to be big for him, and then getting some really good film. I hope he's utilized. RBVU utilizes him this year. Another RBVU guy, Mikey Vasquez, class of 25. It was literally the worst thing ever. The day before his last tournament, he recently sprained his wrist. Trying to get him healthy and get him back going. I think it's like a 6-week thing though, minor sprain. But Mikey is probably the fastest human to ever live. I don't know. I think
that'd be a fair description.
Yeah, he's so lightning fast, and especially like it's like as he gets going, it's just like dude, he just starts gaining so much ground.
He's that type of fast where like something happens, like by the time you realize something has happened, it's already over.
Yeah, he's already 10 yards down the field. Yeah. It's like he catches the ball. You throw him on a 5-yard out, it's going to be a 20-yard completion. You hit him on a slant, it's going, you know what I mean? And hit him on a drag, he's going to cut it up and might score. So, Mikey's been awesome to have around. Played great for us literally all season. Had made some big plays all year. Had an amazing one-handed catch in the first round of playoffs against Battle. First play, we just started off hot. But yeah, he's a class of 25. I know a lot of coaches have gone through there that like what he's about, like what he can do. And yeah, we're excited to see him grow as a player and as a man in the program. So here's a guy, returner, Desert Pines receiver, Tyreek Similis. Tyreek's like a nephew of mine. Like I love Ty. Stuck with me, came back with us this year, and is just a touchdown machine.
A rider.
Yeah, he's a rider. Yeah, he's a touchdown machine though. The kid's just always in the end zone.
If I'm going down a dark alleyway and I need someone to back me up, I hope he's there type person.
He's very, very loyal.
Yeah,
he loves his program.
Yeah, he'll die for the people he loves, and there's nothing this man can't do, in my opinion. Right, with put around the right people, he will truthfully go out and be the greatest athlete you can see if he's put around the right people.
For sure, super smart too. High football IQ. Knows how to sit down in holes. Sometimes Ty just does his own thing, on the field. It's like, what are you doing? But again, it's just part of who Tyreek is, and then
he's got to
do something amazing the next second, just jump 45 inches there and make score a touchdown. And
that's what it is. Always when you think that something's like starting to fall off the wheels with him, that's when he makes you realize how genius he is.
I'll never forget him throwing the ball, our own ball. He scores a touchdown. Who's wide open? Scores a touchdown, does a front flip in the end zone, and then throws our own ball into the parking lot. We were like, Tyreek, what do you... And then we got flagged for it. I'm like, dude, that's our ball.
That. Yeah.
Like, how can you flag us for throwing our ball? If anything, you should just be like, what are you doing? Why are you throwing it just kind of like doesn't think sometimes, but that's just who Tyreek is. And that's why I love this team. Everyone has their own personality.
That's part of the reason he's so great, though, because he truly does transcend himself sometimes.
Yeah. But he's smooth. He runs crazy routes, catches everything. And he's just a touchdown machine. The dude's always in the end zone. Next guy I'm super high on, DeJuan Robinson.
Yeah.
Class of 25.
Vouch.
Receiver, DB, but I do truthfully think he can be one of the best corners in the state. I do. He's just long, athletic, and he catches everything. He goes and gets paid. He had 3 interceptions this last weekend, I think.
Did he really? Yeah,
2
he did.
or 3.
Yeah, he had 2 on Sunday and 1 on Saturday.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. And all just really fast. Like one of them
3 interceptions in 1 weekend. Like that's not normal.
Kid can play.
Yeah.
I believe he's going to be at Centennial. He's also just in the mix of just growing and growing and growing. He's probably about
and not only
5'11".
growing, not only growing physically, but growing mentally.
Absolutely, he's matured a ton. I met him when he was a freshman, and he was kind of a hothead on the field. And I'm like, football's controlled chaos. And I'm also working on this. I'm very passionate. I'm working on controlling my passion. Uncontrollable passion, it's good, but
It's good to an extent.
It's good to an extent, and that's what I'm trying to. Yeah, football is chaotic, but when it's uncontrolled, it doesn't matter, right? And he's starting to learn how to harness that, particularly at DB. You got to play with a little bit more poise.
Once he learns how to
swagger,
harness the edges of that, like because he's been out here, and then right now he's kind of like clapping back into just being a little bit tighter than normal. I can see him starting to expand into where he's going to be right in that perfect in between, and once he does that, every game he plays in is going to be his.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's just growing and growing. He kind of came to me in like right after season in November or right after October. He's like, hey, coach, and he couldn't play. He didn't get to play. He was trying to transfer whatever rules. I can't believe that they take seasons away from these kids. They only get 4. And they take seasons away from these kids. But he couldn't play for whatever reason. He was trying to go to Legacy. And so he didn't get a sophomore year. So he kind of came to me. He's like, hey, coach, like, I'm ready to work. I'm like, all right, but like, if you're working with me, I really want to make you a corner. And he's bought into that. Because he's always been like, I'm a receiver. And he can play receiver. Don't get it twisted.
He can.
We know what he's famous for. The infinite, the backhand.
Just catching these one-handed. I don't know how he does it.
Me either. But I truthfully believe in him, and he's owned that, and it has shown. It is March now, and he just locked down picked off the top quarterback prospect in the country against the top receiver, and just locked it on the comeback. We'll show it on film probably.
Yeah,
but
like it was nothing too.
Yeah,
like
he's really starting to mold and grow, and once the technique just keeps getting better and better, he's just going to get better and better. So. Really excited for him. Dominic Oliver's another class of 25. We're loaded with 25. Next year is going to be a problem.
Yeah, I feel bad for everybody next year.
We're loaded with 25s, but...
dang. I did not know that Damo was 25 or 2.
Dominic Oliver's a 25. He's out of Legacy High School, sitting at about... He's growing right now, too, but he's probably like 6'1", 6 feet, 6'1". Weight-wise, probably 175.
Can jump out of any building.
He's just a big play receiver. He's going to go get the ball, run smooth routes, also has some fantastic hands. Never drops the ball.
Too.
Workhorse, great kid. Great kid.
Yeah.
Great family, great kid. His brother, Christian Wood, is one of my favorite parts about the program right now.
Oh, yeah. His brother is low-key the heart of the team.
Yeah,
not the heart, but he's the heart. Yeah, he's the heart.
He is. I love Christian, man. Like, he breaks us down, and we had a UCLA tour. He was the one that, like, told Coach Jerry, our UCLA receiver coach, just loved him. And, I mean, Damo's a great player, and he definitely opened up some eyes this season, making some plays.
He makes the game fun. Mm-hmm. Every aspect of it. He's just happy to be out there. He's happy to have fun. He's happy to work, and you got to love him for that.
For sure. Looking excited to him have a big junior year and open. Even in summer. I mean, the next step after this are spring visits and then really just training and getting ready for summer. Because, you can run and do all the stuff in 7-on-7, but what are you going to do when you're timing? Yeah. We got to run 40s. We got to time our shuttles. We got to get ready for that. This is fun to get some exposure, but now it's time to work. Yeah. Right? So, sorry, that's on a whole other tandem, but that's for everybody after sevens. Next guy we'll talk about is Ty Hanley. Didn't get to play as much as I wish he did this offseason, but is a beast. I mean, great player. He played in MLK. He played in Battle as well, and then I haven't seen him since. I think he hurt his shoulder. So he's coming off a shoulder rehab.
He's one of those kids that, like, he'll do anything for you.
Period. He's a soldier.
He'll do anything for you.
Yeah, and he's probably going to be a running back, but in sevens, he has some of the best hands I've ever seen. Also, linebacker-wise, physical, and just runs around.
I believe in him as a linebacker. Truthfully, that's his calling right there. That man, and he has the capacity.
He's going to be the heart and soul of Centennial next year, and I'm excited to see what he can do. Like, I was fortunate to coach him in real football at Centennial, and I was defensive coordinator. He was my inside linebacker, and it was a pleasure coaching him every day, literally. So, again, wish he was able to be around us a little bit more this year, but you can't control when you get hurt. And when he was out there, he made some made some big plays.
Clutch
in battle.
Catches, yeah.
And defensively, he's always been stout for us, always. Moving on, another guy that played for me at Centennial. He's at Arborview now. Is Jamali Brown, and I'll say something about Jamali. Okay, and I'm a defensive guy, and I really, truthfully pride myself in outside backers. That's what Wyatt played for me, and Wyatt was one of the best outside backers I ever coached.
First thing, I roll up to a B-grade practice. This man says to me,
"Jamali's better than you."
Yes, Jamali's better than me. Yeah, I took a little disrespect to that. Did not believe it for a long time, but I will say Jamali Brown is better than me. Yeah. Jamali, you can clip that and show it to me later, but it's true. Yeah. Jamali Brown, he understands the position of outside backer so thoroughly and so instinctually that it'll be a shame if it ever comes to an end.
Yeah, it's crazy because the instincts he's always had. When I first saw him, I see the instincts. And I get kids with instincts I love because now I can coach them up a little bit. The instincts just take over, and I mean, Jamali's probably one of the best tacklers I've ever seen in my life, period. And it's unfortunate he didn't get to play this year either because he transferred from, he was at Sent, he was at Shadow, now he ended up at Arborview and Shadow, but I'm not going to get into that, but he wasn't able to play. And so the world has no idea how good Jamali Brown is. He played 4 games for me his sophomore year before he got hurt. I think in those 4 games he had again, he was a sophomore, true. Jamali's also true, not a whole class. So he was 15 years old, played 4 varsity games. I think he had 50-something tackles, maybe 60, in 4 games. And I won't say that. I don't think, and I know he said it better than him, Jamali's better than I was, particularly with tackling. And I don't say that about anybody. In the history of Nevada, I'm the 3rd ever in tackles. And I'm not trying to get into what I did making tackles in high school. I rocked in high school football. But regardless, I was able to tackle. You know what I mean? It was a different game, too. Everything was double tight, wing, a lot of runs. But I was able to tackle at 155, average 15.5 a game. And average-wise, out of 10 games, that is 3rd in Nevada history. And I'm sitting here and telling you right now, Jamali's a better tackler than I was.
And even more than that, to take that a step further, right? We're talking about instinctually. A lot of people take instinctually as oh yeah, he knows how to find the ball. Beyond that, Jamali knows how to cover every inch of what he needs to cover to get to the ball without having anything be left uncovered, right? He knows how to check up to the flats and cover both halves of the flats. He knows how...
Doesn't get leveled out. He splits it, yeah.
He knows how to do all of those things that you can coach those things, but you can't make people make plays on those things. And Jamali will make plays on those things.
Exactly. I put him in position. Jamali had no idea how to do any of that. Put him in position, and now let his instincts take over. But he also had to make the choice to be coachable and get himself there. But yeah.
And there's a lot to dive into there. But
and then the players that I had as real football too, with all the film and the meetings and literally I'm sending them huddle notes at fucking 4 a.m. We'll cut off the fuck, but I'm sending them huddle notes at 4 a.m. about how they can be better, what they can do wrong, and I give them the good and the bad. The good's always short, yeah, because I expect the good. We work so hard that you should be doing this. You know what I mean? You're expected to make plays. You're expected to do your job. But the bad we have to fix. That's not the expectation. That's not where we're up at having meetings at 6 a.m. So the guys that I had as players, I just expect more from them, particularly with doing your job. You know what I'm saying? You should be better at covering the flat because I've shown you how to do it.
It's a reflection of you.
Yeah, exactly. Over and over and over. Which in sevens, it's hard. It's hard to get everyone to practice at once. You really don't have film like that. It's just tougher. So, but yeah, Jamali's been doing. I'm really proud of the player because this is my last year. He's been with me since he was a freshman too. It was sevens, and so this is my last year with him, and I think he's been great, outstanding every single tournament.
Grown man player.
Every single tournament. I mean, and it's shown he can play man. It's shown he can play over the top at nickel. He's shown he can cover flat.
He doesn't mess up.
He can do anything.
He doesn't make mistakes. Jamali Brown does not make mistakes.
And we keep going on tandem, so we'll move on. Love you, Jamali. Good job. Brandon Sawyers.
Oh, yeah.
Class of 25 corner.
A kid you would not expect to be great, but he just will continuously prove you wrong. He's the kid who wants the test. Give him the test. He will prove you wrong time in and time out because that's who he is.
Yeah, I mean, has a demeanor about him. Doesn't talk a lot.
Yeah.
Played nickel, but they're moving him to corner, and I kind of like him on the outside. Very twitchy. Technical, asks good questions. Wants to be great, and that's huge. Wants to be better. Always at training. Always asking, hey, coach, are we training?
I feel like he's a kid who wants that test.
And he's a dude that, too, I think this season his confidence has just grown tremendously over and over and over. Corner's a tough position. You know what I mean? I gotta cover you. You know where you're going. I don't. It's a really, really tough position, and you have to have a short memory. One thing about Brandon is he played baseball. Baseball is a game of failure. Corner's much like that. If you get beat, you have to shake it off because if you're thinking about it, you're gonna get beat again. You know what I mean? And that's why I really like him out there because he plays with poise. He plays with a very, very short memory, right?
Yeah.
If you think the best corner I've ever coached is who? Jake Polson. What other position he play? Sport. What other sport?
Baseball.
Thank you. I love corners that are baseball players because they play with a short memory. That's super important.
They're calm in the mental, and Brandon absolutely is calm in the mental.
Yep, stays poised. He's never here, never there. If he makes a great play, he's going to be here. And if he gets beat, he's going to be here, and I love that. I love it because it's the opposite too. If I go up, I get an interception, and I'm all excited about it, and the next time I line up in front of kids, I'm still thinking about the interception. I'm probably gonna get beat. Mm-hmm. It's so what next play mentality. So,
yeah, always in the moment.
Yeah, but yeah, we're looking. Brandon should have a huge sophomore year at Faith. He's only 2025, so he has 2 years there to kind of own that position. And again, him and Matai should build a connection with Matai at free safety up top. So they should do a really good job.
I feel bad for anybody who tries to throw to his side of the field with Matai out there at safety.
Oh, for sure. Only 2 more we got to talk about. We got another basic kid, Zuri Whittier's. Long freak athlete. You were talking about Zuri the other day. Like he can. You were saying he could be like pretty much a Power 5 guy with his frame.
I think so. Yeah, absolutely. I think he's a Power 5 guy with his frame. I think he needs. He could stand to thicken out a little bit, but that's gonna come with age and growth.
Oh, also when you go to college, the guys are supposed to.
Yeah.
They get paid millions of dollars a year to thicken you out and make sure you're lifting. I agree though. Like he's fast. He's long. We got to figure out what he is though. Is he a receiver? Is he a corner? Is he a safety?
Yeah,
that's what he kind of has to figure out and mold. Because I think he's a safety. I think he's a free safety.
That is the thing with
a strong safety.
He can do so many different things. It's a good thing. It's a double-edged sword because he can do so many different things that it's like, what can he do? Because coach is talking about him being a safety. I kind of think he's a linebacker, and you know,
he could be like an outside linebacker.
I think he's an outside linebacker, but at the same time, like it's that kid holds his destiny in his hands.
Absolutely. Love Zuri. Definitely, I think he'd have a huge. He had a big junior year, but he can lead basically having a big senior year, and he can make some noise. And I think again, his summer's going to be super important.
I think Basics is a team to watch out for.
Well, speaking of, let's talk about David Atkins.
I forgot about him.
David Atkins, 3.5 GPA, sitting at about 5'9", maybe 5'10".
Just an animal.
190, stocky, outside backer, running back, could play slot. I think he's going to end up being a strong safety type.
I think that's where he's going in college too.
Yeah, he's definitely
playing outside backer for us, but I think that's sort of where we need him at. But beyond that, he's just get after the ball type of guy.
100%. He's always running the football. If he makes a mistake, he's going to fix his next play. Period. Yeah. Kid never makes the same mistake twice. Ever. If a quarterback, tries to pick on him, level him out, if he does it first time, he's going to make a play second. I mean, that happened a couple times this last weekend.
Yeah, it did.
And just, again, great human being, too. Really, really good kid.
Fun guy to talk to. Interesting guy to talk to. Yeah.
Really good kid. High GPA. High football IQ. And another guy I'm going to take a lot of pride in trying to get to the next level.
Too. That's one of the things. Like, he never gets outside of himself, but he also presses the boundaries of who he is. I've noticed that about him. And that's a really tough thing to do as a high schooler.
100%. Last guy we'll touch on, which is one of my favorite guys in the program, is Ryan's brother, Evan Bawalki. Yeah, love Evan. I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm going to, we get a lot of messages for guys, hey, can we come play, coach? Hey, this, hey, that. And Evan hit me up, and I'm like, who is this kid? Because, again, there's levels for it, whatever. He's playing for the Meadows, which is like 2A football, and I'm just like, I don't know if he understands what this is. Like, this is high level. We got guys at Liberty. We got guys from Arbor. You know what I mean? This is pretty high level stuff. And I look at him like, and I didn't respond to him. And he actually hit me up like a couple times, like, hey, coach, like, for real, like, I'm trying to come out. Like, and I'm like, you know what? You've been persistent. You look like you got decent size. Why don't you come out? Yeah. Right? And first practice, he comes out, and he was legit, And I kind of got limited reps. And then the next practice, I was like, dude, I want to see you work, bro. Like, what I saw last practice, I like. So I threw him out there a little bit more.
Baller.
He's a killer, bro.
Dude.
Evan's a killer.
Evan Bawalki will surprise any person.
Evan's a killer.
Yeah, you're not ready for him.
I believe that he's another guy who can play at the next level.
Can't be ready for him.
Yeah, he's just a killer and just plays with the depth. Then a super nice kid, but when he's on the field, plays filthy. Yeah. Like we talk about, when I coached at Damani, he played at Damani. Our motto was fast and mean.
Fast, and that's exactly how
Evan is fast and he's mean, and he's sitting. And he's like a tweener hybrid tight end. I think he's an outside linebacker at the next level.
I could see that.
Because he's not slow either, but he's like I think Evan's about 6'1", 6'2".
The thing is, he's got such amazing hands that you don't want to see that wasted, but at the same time, put that on the defensive side of the ball.
For sure. I mean, and I see it all the time. Look, Tanner Vaughn, he's playing D-line. He had the best hands I've ever seen at tight end. Besides before, I mean, he's one of the best tight ends I've ever had. Now he's at UNR playing D-line. I'm like, why would you want to waste this? But Hey, I mean, Junior Carmona, he's at San Jose State. He played tight end for me. Now he's a tackle at San Jose State, starting tackle. And I'm like, why do you want to waste his hands? Well, because you can start and get on the field right now. You know what I mean? But
absolutely.
And a lot of let's be honest, like a lot of kids can catch the ball.
That is true.
A lot of kids play defense.
Hey, thankfully, let's just give him a moment for that.
Yeah.
Defense, that stereotype has been erased.
For sure.
And Evan Bobalki will be one of those people who continues to erase it potentially.
But it's also just what level. I mean, if he goes D2 or something, he can play tight end. But if he's trying to play the highest level, there's just heights you got to make, which sucks, but it is what it is. But I think he can play anywhere he wants. I mean, Evan is an animal. We almost get in about a fight or tournament because of Evan and his mouth, but I'll go to war for Evan anytime, any day. And so will his teammates. His teammates love him too.
No sweat on it.
His teammates love him too. And so, like, we're just picking back off this roster, and we'll go to a quick break for our sponsors, but, like, we just got kids from everywhere, and it's really cool. We have a kid at Meadows. We have kids at Legacy. We have kids at Arborview. We have kids at Desert Pines. Basic. Kid from Bishop Minot. We have kids literally from all over, and it's special. We got a fun group. Liberty. Our Liberty. Gotta have our Liberty boys. And it's a good team, man. And the kids have really bought in, and it's been fun. It's been fun coaching these kids.
I'll ride for these kids.
Yeah, this is a fun group. And to be real, I didn't know this group the way I've known my past groups. And I didn't know what this season was going to be like. And they didn't really know me either. A couple of them did. But a lot of these guys had no idea, never been coached by me. They have no idea how I am, and I am who I am. I'm gonna coach how I like to coach, and I'm working on it.
And that's something great to say about this program is they have dove into the program. They are about it, I think.
Yeah, and we've lost some kids, but no matter what, you're going to lose kids. I've lost kids that started with me. They think they weren't treated.
Yeah.
I owed them this or that, and that's okay. They can feel however they want, and they can believe whatever they want. I still love them no matter what, and that's why it gets tough because I'm gonna make the best decisions for the program, always.
Understood.
And when I build the relationships with the kids, sometimes they feel, again, like I owe them or something like that. And that's just not the case. The best, decisions hurt me personally. If it's best for the program, then we're going to do it. Program over everybody. And that's what this group has really bought in with. And it's been fun. We've had a really fun year, which we're going to dive into right after this message with our sponsors. Thank you.
We'd like to give a huge shout out to our sponsors, Ford and Freeman. If you or your family ever find yourselves into some legal trouble and you need a trusted and reliable group of legal consultants to help save the day, Ford and Freeman is the place to go. They have built a reputation for providing superior legal counsel and a willingness to take your case as far as it may need to go to secure the results that you're looking for. Ford and Freeman Law, the premier divorce lawyers in Henderson, Nevada. We are back in action like the Looney Tunes. Thank you again to our sponsors. We couldn't do this without you guys.
100%. We appreciate everything.
You guys keep the program running.
Absolutely. Boys wouldn't have the opportunities to play and, have as much swag, jerseys, things like that if you guys weren't 100%. Around. So we appreciate it. Moving forward, we're going to get into the season a little bit and, what it entails, what I envision when making the tournaments, because there's different type of 7-on-7 tournaments. There's tournaments that are for, I want to go out and just say it, like there's tournaments that are for fun, right? Yeah. You go out.
There are tournaments that are for recruiting, and there are tournaments that are for hype.
Yeah, sure. There's hype, recruiting tournaments, and there's just like the fun tournaments. There's like 10, 11 teams. Most of them are local, and that's just not what I'm in this business for. Like I don't want to sound negative or whatever. Like I don't do this for fun. I'm not up. We're not making this podcast.
We got a purpose here.
Do it for fun. The kids, we want to get the kids to college. And I try to tell the kids that like when you go to their goal is to play college football. When you go to college football, I mean, getting up at 6 a.m. and having meetings and then lifting till 9. That's not necessarily fun. You know what I mean? There's not like you don't wake up like excited for that. And then
there are aspects of it that are fun.
Going to practice and like working out, like things like that, like that's not fun. Like that shit hurts. It's a grind. And then you get the games that are fun, right? But out of your whole year, right? If a whole season, and some of you redshirt might even play. That's not fun. But out of a whole season, you really only get 12 games guaranteed. So there's 12 days of fun out of how many days of just work. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the point of this program. Like, it's not really a fun program. Winning is fun. If we do things the right way, we'll win. The kids will have fun. You know what I mean? But we're not doing this for fun. That's why we don't do the little whatever turn. The tournaments. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's a purpose for that. I think there's fun in 7-on-7, and kids deserve to have it. But it's not what this program's about. This
program is about getting people onto the next level
and development. But so when we put the circuit together, I wanted to play national tournaments. And national tournaments means you have teams coming from all over the country, sometimes all over the world. I believe we played a team from Canada this season. So, like we want to play the best in the country and teams from all over the country. And so when I put the circuit together, that's what we started off with. And we started off with the Red Zone Jamboree, MLK Jamboree, in January, March 14th, 15th, I wanted to say it was. I think it's my third time coming to this tournament. Jason does a really good job. It was at Bellbank Park, which is a great location, great venue. Yeah. I got a lot going on over there. And then it's always the first big national tournament of the year too. So you have, teams from Washington come down, teams from all over the country come down.
It was crazy. It was like my first big tournament experience personally.
Yeah. Came like a week after Shari Hughes passed away too, so we were able to. Our jerseys didn't come in; we had to order new ones, and so we were able to represent her a little bit in that manner. We wore some really nice. Hopefully, we can pull them up, but some really nice "Do It for Shari" jerseys with "Be Great" on the front, and then everyone had number 7 on the. So we kind of went out there with a purpose.
Playing for her.
Playing for Shari. And that's still really tragic, but. Regardless, the boys were able to represent her in a positive manner in a dark time for a lot. Though I'd say the whole city was confused, and we went out there and we represented Shari and we competed. The boys played great.
Yeah, they did.
The boys played great.
Didn't have the Sunday that we necessarily wanted, but it was the first time that we all got to play together, and the boys really, I think, showed themselves that they can play with anybody.
Yeah, so Be Great Battleborn and Elite both went 2-0-1 on Saturday, which was cool. No one lost, right? Scored well, played well.
I think we were like 6-7, right?
It was 9-10, I want to say. 9-10. We ended up after pool play like 9-10. Elite was 9, Battleborn was 10. And then, came out there Sunday, and just got beat. It was the second round because we both had byes, but played Arizona Dolphins. Elite played Arizona Dolphins and got beat in a dogfight by like 2 or 3 points. And then same thing with Battleborn.
Weird sort of Sunday.
Yeah, Battleborn played like, Elevate or Team Elevate, something like that. Really good program. And, we threw 2 interceptions on the one. One was a drop. Again, what's been our motto all year? Us versus us.
Us versus us.
And when we do lose, it seems like we're beating ourselves. Now that sounds so like cliche is the word I was looking for, but it truthfully, like I've written down the notes, like every loss of lost to, like we've controlled. It was in our control to win the game, and I kind of have. That's in most situations.
Just fell through the hands.
Wasn't like we just got beat. There's not one game we'll go over. Yeah, we'll go over our record, but we've yet to just be beaten. Without something we didn't do to detriment ourselves. But good way to start the season. And again, wish Sunday went better for us. The team that we did lose to, it finished like top. I believe went to the Elite 8 and lost to a good team, Team Elevate, I believe it was, and it was a Fast Camp team. Lost to a Team Fast Camp, but I was interested to see after that what they're going to bounce back like, right? So. One thing I do say with sevens is there's a ton of movement. You never have the same group of kids the next week. Because a kid might have track or the kid might have that. It is what it is. And it might not work with the schedule. Kid might have vacation. Kid might get in trouble the day before the tournament. Can't come. That happened for this next tournament for Heroes. So, but yeah, we finished at the end of the day. Elite, Be Great Battleborn, which that's really the season that we're following right now. But Be Great Battleborn ended up having. We went 1-1 in that tournament. We finished 21st. So, in a national tournament out of, I think, 60 teams, we finished 21st in our first go at it. Again, like Coach said, could have played better on Sunday. So
could have played better, but all things considered, it was a good showing.
Yeah. Offense played well, defense played well. Everyone, there was some good and bad. Guys make plays. I forget who we picked for, MVPs for Battleborn on that one, but I want to say...
I have it on my...
Yeah. But there's some, we got to get to know the boys, see how they played together too for the first time. And I will say this: we had the Airbnb, and like off the field, like there's a lot of team bonding. We had a pool table out there. There was a pool out there, and
yeah, they really started coming together.
Kids were having fun, and that was really cool about that trip. But moving forward, the next big tournament was also back in Arizona. It's called a Hero Tournament. And shout out to Hero Sports. That's who does our jerseys. They did a great job this year. We were looking fly. We did get our jerseys for the second tournament, which was awesome. Got to go to the tournament. Stacked out. And this was kind of a weird week. We had a lot of kids who couldn't make it. To be real with you,
I wasn't even out there?
Yeah, Coach Virgil wasn't there. To be real with you, I probably should have just done one team, but we ended up doing two. Steven Johnson Jr., that's who runs Hero, and Hero Sports is the second year doing a tournament circuit. And I said, why not? Let's get out there. And they're our vendor. That's who sponsors us. Does our gear, so let's get out there and compete.
Absolutely dominated the first day.
Yeah, we did. I mean, offensively, Battleborn just played, pretty outstanding. We had 4 games. I can read them off to you. I know we started off with Sweet Feet Elite, who we tied 2 weeks before, and I wasn't too fond about that. I wasn't too fond about tying. You never want to tie, but I know that we came out and we were on fire. Offensively, I remember that Hero Tournament, we just couldn't be stopped. Again, we were super short roster, had like 11 kids on each team. And Battleborn, first game we played Sweet Feet Elite, we won 37-12, which was nice. To tie them and then come back and win 37-12 was awesome. Then we played Team 24, the really, really solid program. We beat them 25-14. Again, Tyrese was feeling himself. Dude, Tyreek was going crazy. And the good thing about the smaller rosters is everybody's playing. So there's not a lot of, coach, I want the ball. Coach, like everyone's probably going to eat. Everyone's going to get the ball. That was kind of Evan's big coming out party because he was playing on Battleborn. And I was like, man, this kid's legit.
Garnered the respect of everybody around him.
We also were able to bring up a couple seniors because seniors were able to play and we were short with rosters. So I brought up Elijah Darwin. He's going to Coffeyville College. He's a class of 23. Played outstanding for me for his last hoorah. Rayshawn Maker. We're talking about Lawrence Taylor earlier. His brother came out, played corner. He did a good job. And it was cool to kind of give those seniors a little last run. And it just sucks. Like, we scored, I want to say, on pool play, we scored like 140 points in 3 games. Or 4 games. We had to play 4 games for some reason. And we just felt really good. We were the 1 seed going into Sunday. Got the first round bye. And played a really good team, Texas Ice. It's actually Steven Johnson's team that he runs, the Hero team. It started off good, started off dogfight. I remember, again, like we beat ourselves. We ended up losing. We lost, gave up a touchdown with like 2 seconds left. It was a heartbreaker, but it was a dogfight. It wasn't, the kids they didn't lay down. We were never... we actually scored with like 35 seconds to go up. So like we fought through some adversity that game and just didn't end up going our way. I know we dropped a huge interception that would have sealed the deal, and they ended up scoring later that drive. But that's just 7-on-7. Like you got to capitalize. And again, us versus us. Like we beat ourselves. It's very fast paced. There's some questionable calls in it, but that's just what it is. The refs aren't great in 7s, and we got beat. So. Here we go again, right? We
2 back-to-back first-round exits.
It's coming off. We still have not lost a game on Saturday, by the way.
Yeah,
right?
At this point.
Yeah, at this point, we haven't lost a game on Saturday. We went 4-0. We went 4-0 on Saturday.
So 6-0-1 on Saturdays.
Yeah, we're 6-0-1 on Saturdays. In total, we're 6 going into after January. After 2, we're 6-2-1. And both losses on Sundays when it matters. And I remember after this, I was like, bro, we're going to lose, the morale. Like, this can't keep happening. Yeah. If it happens again, we'll probably lose the kids, lose the season, lose the belief. But, we had to dig deep. We had to look around and look at each other and see who are we as a group and push forward. And then it was funny, like, after that, the motto of the season was, no Sunday bullshit. After every Saturday, it was no Sunday bullshit. So, moving in. January, finishing strong, get, 2 solid tournaments. One pretty full rostered, second one really short, and still competing. So, again, it's a program thing. Like, this is so what next guy. Some will, some won't. So what someone's waiting. SW times 4. So, as a program, January was solid. 6-0 and 1.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 6-2 and 1 total going into February. So going into February, we have 2 of the biggest tournaments in the world, and it's kind of good because they're in Vegas. In retrospect, Pylons and Mesquite, but they're essentially local tournaments. Yeah. Not as much logistics.
Don't need to get a hotel.
Coaches. Yeah. No rental vans, so it's just a little bit easier. And so the next big one was Battle, early February.
In our backyard.
Right in our backyard, All American Park. We practiced there.
Yeah.
So we were really comfortable there, and Battle was one where I had pretty much everyone when I envisioned, putting the team together. Everyone was there because I had Jaden Robertson and Matai at the same time. But yeah, we finally had everyone together in Battle for the most part, for what I saw. And again, coming in Saturday, had a pretty tough go at it, pretty tough, pool play. We played, I want to say, we played a team from Canada. That was that team that I was talking about, and I was thinking of. I think they were MVP Elite or something like that, but they were cool. They were all right. I mean, it was one of their early tournaments. They're out. They looked the part. They had some size to them, and they competed. It was a good, solid game.
Yeah.
But we ended up winning. Second game, we played a big time program when I first started 7-on-7. Rare Breed. They're like a SoCal program.
Well known.
Well known. Got the dub there, which I was excited with and happy with.
Yeah.
And then rolling to the third game. The Bootleggers, which is a huge program out of Louisiana, and
a little bit of a gut punch.
Got kind of chippy, not kind of. It got chippy, and it was just kind of back and forth. And at no point in time did I feel like we were going to lose the game. They did stop us. That was one thing I want to say about Hero. We didn't get stopped the entire tournament.
Yeah.
The entire tournament in 5 games, we didn't get stopped. And I think that was something to say about our offense. We were just a machine offensively. And then I think our first time getting stopped was that Sunday
at Battle
against the Bootleggers. And, they're athletic, well-known team, whatever, and they're chippy. They like to talk a little bit, but our boys are not going to just sit there and allow that to happen. And they're also going to make plays, which is frustrating for some teams. And there ended up being
we're not going to be walked over.
Yeah, and there was an altercation, whatever, but went down to the wire. I mean, we score with no time left to be down. We could have went for 1 for the tie or go for 2 for the win, and the boys kind of looked at me and were like, "Coach, let's end it," and we went for 2, and Tyrese threw an excellent, a really good ball.
Just happened to be out of bounds.
Yeah, it just happened to be we were probably a foot away from winning that game.
Yeah.
So we lost our only loss on Saturday, still to this day, is to the Bootleggers, which is the top team in the country by a point. And we went for 2 to win it at the end. And that's something to say about the boys. They wanted to go for 2. But even then, after the standings, we finished pretty high, pretty top. I think it was we finished 14th and going into after pool play. Yeah.
Enough to get a first round bye, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. And then Saturday, the offense was just awake. We started off and we played.
I don't even remember, but I know that we routed them.
Yeah, it was 43-0. So we started off. We played a team called MVP Red. I believe they're out of the Oregon area. I believe so. I believe they're out of the Oregon area, and we won 43-0, which was awesome, right? Because I remember after Saturday, I was happy about some stuff, but I was unhappy about some stuff in Battle. We didn't have any big plays. And have all these weapons, and we weren't just stretching the field. I think that's on play calling, too. I was calling just the dink and duck stuff, and it was working. But I would like to stretch the field. We got dudes. You know what I mean? Let's go speed on speed and slow the ball up and try to make something happen. And the first play, off bat, first play was a bomb to Mikey Vasquez, one-handed catch. Unbelievable. I'm like, all right, now we're here. But, yeah, we win that game 43-0, and then we go into game 2 against an excellent Arizona Dolphins team.
Absolute battle of a game. I think it went into double overtime.
Triple
overtime.
The final score of that game was 50-48. It was just a dogfight, and it was probably the funnest game of the year so far, I'd say.
Oh yeah, that was the definitive game of the year in my opinion.
Yeah, it was had a blast in that game.
Jaden Robertson came out of his skin.
Went insane, as he does in every tournament. Animal again. Just an animal.
Absolute animal.
DeJuan definitely grew up in that tournament. Had to guard a beast. I'm not sure this young man's name, but he is a beast. He was probably 6'5", 6'6", 200.
Talked the talk and backed it up.
He did. Talked a lot, but made plays. Like I said, it went to triple overtime. And the overtime works like balls on the 10. You have 3 plays to score. And we were just going back and forth. And there was a point in time we were down 8. We had to score and get a 2-point conversion, and we did. And that's when I knew we were going to win the game. I just remember Matai made one of the best plays I ever seen, and we'll pull it up too. But we were in like a cover 1 situation. He was helping out to the trip side. Quarterback rolls out, throws it to the big boy, and Matai comes out. He's supposed to be in the middle of the field. He just reads the quarterback's eyes and jumps a comeback by the number 1 receiver and gets an interception. And that really was what brought our morale back, because that pick. Now after that, all we had to do was score, and that was no problem.
Cake from there.
Yeah, we got it done, and that was just an emotional big win for the program. Arizona Dolphins are well named. Yeah, they're a big name in 7-on-7, and like I said, I believe I have a group in Nevada. These boys can go. I believe they can compete with anyone in the country. So it was an awesome win. That was a big win.
That was a huge win.
What sucked though is right after that we went to our 3rd round against Pink Outlaws, which is another just really good team.
Didn't have a second to breathe.
We're kind of coming off in a big emotional win. But even then, we were right there. Biggest thing with that is we kind of started slow. So we gave up kind of 2 big plays. We were down 2 touchdowns early, and then slowly but surely we started making our comeback. I know Jaden picked off Isaac Wilson on a wheel route, which was really nice. He had the flats. He opened up really smooth and picked it off and met him where he wanted to be. It was a huge interception, got us back in the game. We went down and scored. And at the end of the day, we had the ball. We were down 3, had the ball, and with a chance to score, and made a mistake, jumped off sides. So, again, another loss to a really good program, and we beat ourselves. Crazy part about Pylon is the teams that played in the semis were the Bootleggers and the Pink Outlaws. And we lost by a total of 4 points combined to both those teams. But it doesn't matter. We lost. So, we're not there. Yep, on to the next tournament, keep it pushing. But one thing about battles, what we proved, is we can win on Sundays.
Yeah, and that was a huge turning point.
Yeah, that was a huge thing. Now the boys got comfortable, and we got that hump off of our back, and we can compete on Sundays and compete when it matters. So, going in, moving on to the Mecca.
Yeah, another tournament that I wasn't at. Reno had a tournament down in, I think, Sacramento that weekend.
Yep.
Did all right. We said earlier, 1-1-1.
Yep.
I was happy with how they showed out, but unfortunately, I could not be down at the Mecca.
Yeah, you were at Battle, though.
I was at Battle.
Yeah, I made an awesome highlight tape for Battle. But, the Mecca, it is exactly what it sounds like. Mecca got over 100 teams in it, teams from all over the country. And we were able to get in and make some noise. That was really when teams started playing well.
Party.
And for the Mecca, I ended up kind of combining both teams. And then Alex and Tyrese played on the same team and had the Faith boys up.
How did that go? Short. I never asked you about it.
It went fine. I mean,
yeah,
I got no grief from either. No one was complaining about reps, and we were out there competing, and we're winning. I'll tell you, when you win, it solves a lot of issues.
Statement about
it doesn't solve all issues.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But it does solve a lot of issues. If we would have done that, we would have lost. Probably would have got some grief. But this group too doesn't really cry like that, or give me.
That's not what they're about.
That, but it was good. We had some really good chemistry. Matai couldn't make that one, so we had Jaden at free, and some guys at corner too that got down, because we ended up putting CP played on Battleborn. He helped out at corner. Brandon was at corner. Dewan was at corner. But yeah, we had a really good group and played really well together. Alex played really good for stepping in and playing with Battleborn and not really knowing having chemistry with those guys. Like he played really well, made some great plays. I mean, he had a play, and we'll pull it up. Got blitz, slides. He's left-handed, slides, eludes the blitzer, flips his hips, throws an absolute dime to Jaden. And we were kind of on the ropes there. I think we were down a point because we didn't get our extra point. They did, and that was a huge play for us. And let's not even say the Mecca was just a rainstorm. We were playing in literally a thunderstorm.
Actual rainstorm.
Yeah, an actual rainstorm. Yeah. It was dumping rain. It was windy. It was just brutal for our pool play, which sucked because we probably could have scored a couple more points. It kind of leveled us out, and it just definitely played with the standings a little bit. I think we finished 9th after pool play, and we would have scored a lot more points. And that was all. It wasn't even point differential. It was how much you can score. And it was just tough to score in the rain. I thought we did a good job. I mean, again, we went 3-0.
3-0. You can't. Yeah.
Again,
is what it is.
Yeah, undefeated on Saturdays again, and so rolling into Sunday. What is it going to be? We'll see. We get there. We had some time because when you win on Saturday, you don't have to play as early. You got to bye. And first game we played the team that we played that kind of, again, when Alex made that great play and alluded, they were out of the Stockton, like Northern California area, but I think they were called DTA, Team DTA, and they were good. They were solid. And the biggest thing is we didn't know who they really were, nor did they with us, because it was a rainstorm the night before, right? So like,
so nothing really matters.
Yeah, we're just like, this is a whole different game.
Yeah,
you know, and again, kind of ended up being a dogfight. They did stop us. We got the ball first, which is nice in pool play in bracket play, because we're the higher seed to get the ball first, which is huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, you know,
some of those games literally come down to who has the ball first.
Yeah, and we're moving the ball well, and we're playing well, and they were playing well too on offense, and ended up coming down. They did have the ball with a little bit of time left, and could have tied it up. And I remember Jaden just made one of the greatest interceptions I've ever seen.
He does that.
Yeah, just Jaden doing what Jaden does, but he was in man coverage and kind of baited him a little bit and just ends it over the top of the one-handed catch. We'll definitely bring that up and pull it up and show you guys, but it was a great way to kind of get the Sunday rolling, and that had some time in between. Second game we played 2-8 Platinum team. They're like out of like the Idaho, Montana, that area of the country, and they're like kind of the best players they have there, and they're a really good program.
Yeah.
Obviously we saw them this weekend too, but really good program. Do things right, and again, we made some plays in that game. I remember Evan made a huge play in that game. It was a really well played game defensively. I remember Brandon had 208 Platinum has this tall kid. He's like probably 6'5", 6'6". D1 guy.
They're a really good team.
Yeah, they are. Have a good quarterback. D1 guy has some offers, I remember Brandon, just little 5'8" Brandon Sawyer, just makes a huge pass deflection on the big kid, and that was huge for him and huge for the team, and it was a big play for us in that game.
Love to see that.
Yeah. So then, we won 2 playoff games, which we have done before. So can we get over the hump? Can we win 3? Right? And the third game was versus... Who did we play the third game? The third game was against a really good, I want to say Cali team. They're on Sports Thread, so I'm not sure. Pylon didn't use Zorts, so I can't find it at the moment. The third team, I'm not sure who it was, but they were solid. They were a pretty solid squad. I think we ended up getting the W by a touchdown or 2, something like that. And then going to the Elite 8, we ended up having to play the one team, which was Hawaii's finest. Crazy, we had scrimmaged them that Friday. They happened to be at All-American. We were practicing. And we just ran a little scrimmage. I had no idea they were going to end up being the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I had no clue who they were. And lost in a dogfight. Again, kind of beat ourselves. Made some mistakes. Gave up a crucial 3rd and 15. Offensively, we missed some stuff late in the game when we could have scored.
Just one of those games.
Just one of those games. It didn't kind of go our way. It was an emotional game, too. Because during the scrimmage, there was a little scuffle. You know what I mean? A little something. Yeah. And so the boys really wanted it. And so we were kind of pressing. And I think I could have called a lot better game, too. I just wasn't on... Again, not taking enough shots, right? Like, we got athletes. I think I could have called a lot better game. So self-reflecting there. And I told quarterback that, too. I was like, yeah, we made some mistakes, but I think I could have called a better game. And defensively, just made some mistakes that deep down can't, another dropped interception, giving up 3rd and 15. We blitzed and didn't cover up the guy. You know what I mean? And then
beating ourselves.
Again, us versus us, beating ourselves. But to make the Elite 8 and the Mecca was awesome. My first term of Be Great ever was at the Mecca. Darion played in it, and we went 0-4. Not only did we go 0-4, I don't think we scored. We might have scored once. You know what I mean? We were just absolutely pounded, and it was really cool to see the program grow and get there. So, that brings us to this weekend. And I told the kids we were short. Pylon Mecca was February 28th and 29th or whatever.
On to this weekend.
It was like, hey, we're right back at it. You know what I mean? We'll have to practice, and we're going right back. And to my opinion, it's a bigger tournament than the Pylons and the battles, because those are great for hype and great for exposure. And with NIL, it's really good to, get those guys out there. And you win one of those tournaments.
But this is the one that matters.
Well, you just have a lot of big-time scouts out there. It was Brandon Huffman's personal tournament. 7-on-7 Association battle at the beach.
24/7 Sports.
Yep.
Shout out Brandon Huffman.
Yep, shout out to Brandon Huffman. Blair Angle, I believe, was there as well. And it was an opportunity for the boys to get in front of these scouts and really show them what we're about. And I was super, super proud of how we played. The association set up the visit with UCLA, which was cool. Got to meet some USC coaches. The boys got to bond a little bit. It was in the Coliseum. So got to be in the Coliseum, which was cool.
Got to scout out some of our competition.
Yeah, yeah, there was all the tournament there, which was cool. But then right after, it was really neat because we got to go to UCLA. I have a connection there, and he gave us a tour and talked to the boys, and it was really special because it was just us. And that was fun too. The boys got to walk around campus, things like that. And
backstage into their football play, like their building for football.
Yeah, their football facility. Got to see the weight room, and it was just a really special day. Both tours, it was cool. And then again, build connections with UCLA, build connections with USC.
And kind of just show us the heights that these boys can reach. Like, let them know that, like, you guys are really there.
Capable. Yeah. Capable of doing this. But yeah, it was awesome. And then at night we get into the tournament, and, you know, Elite kind of came out and balled, but Battleborn just started off. And I will say this, we just played consistent. You know, we just played consistently, just solid throughout the tournament.
Did our job.
Throughout the tournament. We started off, we played 208 Platinum Prime, which was kind of a little bit of a mix of the team we played the weekend before, and they're a good, well-coached team. Offense showed out. Well, we won 28-14. Really, really well-coached team. Defensively, I think the boys showed out, got stops when they needed them. After that, we played a team that was supposed to have a bunch of really good guys. I know the tournament was hyping them up.
They did play well.
Nighthawks, the Nighthawk Sports Assault. They had some great players too, but we just kind of pulled it out, and the defense got some big interceptions when we needed. I think that was the one that Juan had a pick on. But we ended up winning that game 31-14. So that was a really good second game and I know Tyrese made some really good big throws in that game. Tyrese just played outstanding all
that weekend. Was an important one, I feel like, in the framework of the tournament too, is like, okay, this team that we're supposed to be in this dogfight with, we kind of just
it was like the guy came up to me, hey, like, this team's supposed to be having, they have all these D1 guys. I'm like, I think my team does too. That's why we're here. You know what I'm saying? So like, you should look at us, and again, that's why I wanted to do this, is to get these guys exposure. And then the next team we played, a team called Hermiston Elite, and they were a high school. And
Shout out Hermiston Elite.
Yeah, like, didn't really look the part, but they gave us some problems. We ended up winning that 28-21. They were just consistent. You have chemistry. They're running plays super quick, and that's what's cool about it. If you are a high school and you get out there, you have that advantage, the chemistry advantage.
You are going to surprise some people if they're not ready for it.
For sure. So, yeah, I mean, another solid Saturday, and that just leaves our Saturdays. So, I don't know if you guys have been following, but we've lost one game on Saturdays. We've tied one and lost one. The rest have been W's.
What does that put us at, 12?
I'm not even... I
think it's 12-1-1.
We'll chop it up at the end. Let's see, 3... Yeah, something like that. We're going to look at it all at the end, but on Saturdays, I know for a fact we've lost one game. And it was by a point to the LA Bootleggers, and we went for 2 to win it. And I think that holds water. And I'm not begging to get into but I just think that my kids have earned the right to go play in the biggest tournament in the world. Now, going into the Sunday for the Battle of the Beach, this was this past Sunday on March 5th. We play a really good OC Elite football team. They're a really well-known program out in California. Elite actually beat them the day before too, which was awesome. But got the dub 34-14, had a couple interceptions. I know Jade had an interception. Matai went up, made a big play in the corner. There were some really good plays in that game. Evan had a hell of a catch over the middle. Tyreek scored on some stuff. There was just some good plays. Brandon had a
2 interceptions on that one too.
Brandon had a pick. It was just a really well played game by the boys, and then
it felt like a football game
for sure. It was just we played well. The next game we played a team called C4. They're out of Oklahoma, and they had a lot of D1 guys on their team as well. And it was just anytime of the country. When we were at USC, Coach Manning said that was our leader. He was like, it's different areas of the country play different styles of football. And my boys want to go play college football. They're going to be their locker mate might be from New York.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just they only run as power out there. Whatever. Like it's good to be around, to be exposed to different styles of football. Like that Oklahoma team was big.
Yeah, they were
big. They weren't very fast though, but they were big.
And I think that's where we killed them too.
Yeah, we killed them with speed. They ran like a cover 3 concept. We just went 4 verts a lot and attacked the middle of the field. But attack the seams rather. But yeah, we ended up beating Team C4. Shout out to them. We beat them 28-14. Next team we played is a really, really solid team out of like the same area, the Idaho, like Northwest area. They're called Triple Threat. I think they're out of Oregon actually.
They gave us some problems too. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, they're solid, just well coached program. You know, a couple D1 guys and
beat our elite earlier in the tournament.
And they just catch everything. Discipline. They beat FSP the weekend before. Just absolutely pissed Tracy off. He was losing his mind. But like Triple Threat is a good, well coached team, and they gave us a run for our money.
But at that point, we were kind of just rolling to a point where it was where we kind of got, okay, this isn't the level we're at anymore.
Yeah, and ended up getting the dub there, and then moving on to the semis, play the 1 seed, which is the 2A Platinum Premier, which is really the I mean, they had that big kid on the team again from the weekend before.
They were first seed for a reason.
Yeah, they were scoring a lot, and it's crazy. It actually ended up being a lower scoring game. Well, they got the ball first too, which was weird for us because they were a higher seed in the full play. But ended up being a high score game.
Yeah, they tested our Jaden Robertson down in the corner. He passed the test, and that kind of felt like the turning point in the game to me.
I would say that was a huge play, and then they kind of got the momentum back when we didn't convert on that 3rd and 5. We had dropped the ball on a post curl. Which was just I'm be real. I'm really not used to I'm not used to getting stopped. I'm really not used to not getting the first down. So that kind of, you know, it was just weird. We had to get stopped like that a lot, and defense had to step up, and they did. They ended up giving up a touchdown, but the guy went for 2, which I respected. I'm gonna be real too. When he went for 2, I knew we were gonna win the game because I knew he was nervous. He knew right there we either need to win this game right now or we're
not going to win in overtime.
He was like, we will not win this game in overtime. Yeah.
Which means we won 2 ways.
Yeah. So I knew I was in his head because I had about 45 seconds left in a timeout, and I knew that was plenty of time to go score. So I wasn't really tripping. We actually just went over some no huddle stuff too. So we were ready, and then defense made a hell of a play. Zuri stepped up and had a huge pass deflection.
That's right.
On the 2-point conversion to seal the deal in the semis. And that was probably the biggest.
He came down hard on that, too.
It was one of the biggest plays of the tournament. Absolutely. It was a great play.
Shout out to Zuri. And then on to Team Toa.
Then on to the championship. Yeah. So, that final of the 2A game was 14-13. Dogfight. But again, you've just seen just really consistent, just solid play. Scoring a lot, not giving up too much, still giving up touchdowns. But I was just never satisfied. I'm never satisfied.
Dogfight.
Yeah, just kind of close little games, but we're finishing. And then we get to Team Toa, which is a well-known program, championship game too. We've kind of finally made it. And there was 48 teams in this tournament. There wasn't no backyard boogie. Again, there was a team from Oklahoma. There was teams from the Northwest, Pacific Northwest. Teams from Cali. There was a team out of New Jersey. I wanted to say there was a couple teams from Florida. A lot of different areas.
This was a legit tournament.
Yeah, and it ended up being us and Toa out of SoCal. And, excited. I was really excited to get after and compete. We had a little bit of time in between, and we also were able to watch Toa play in between, too, which was nice.
Yeah, played a great team, Premier. Yeah. I think they were just Premier.
Yeah, and,
Shout out them.
Premium. They played Premium, yeah.
That's right. Playing with 10 people. Shout out that. That was crazy.
Yeah, been there before. No excuse. It's a program. You get more guys to compete. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And they didn't hurt them. I mean, they still made it to the championship. And that's a huge program. I'm sure they had other teams playing elsewhere, but they couldn't get it done versus Toa, and we ended up seeing Toa in the championship. And didn't know. We hadn't been in that position yet. We hadn't been in a championship yet, so didn't know how the boys were going to show up. But we got the ball first, and let's just say it didn't start off hot.
Yeah, threw a pick first play of the game.
Yeah, and there was crazy part about it. It was Tyrese's only pick of the tournament,
and it wasn't.
It was a drop.
Yeah,
it was a drop pass.
It was not a Tyrese pick. It was just an unfortunate situation.
I was kind of oh, here we go. Same old B grade stuff. Whatever, get there and can't finish. But I had a really good feeling about the game. I honestly just walked right to Damo hey, you're gonna be fine. And a great moment is Tyrese actually went to Damo too. Hey, I'm gonna come back to you. And boy did he. Yeah. You know what I mean? And boy did he. Comes back.
One of the craziest catches I've seen.
Yeah, just for a head tie. And end up being, the crazy part about it is I was oh, we just do a pick, blah, blah, blah. Defense got a pick right back. Evan Babaki on the pick on the comeback.
Almost had 2 in that one.
Well, Andre almost picked it off the next play.
Yeah, exactly. Right, back to back.
And Evan got it. I'm like, oh, here we go, tied up because the picks were 3 points in this game. So now we're 0-0. And I remember specifically Jaden coming back and being like, hey, Ty, like, hey, 0-0 now, like, let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, I remember hearing that. And the boys know, like, when I'm out there, they really don't. Sometimes they'll chit chat with me a little bit, but like, I'll be locked in. You know what I mean? And
you're a player out there too, just the same.
I have a role out there, and I'm trying to master my role. But you know, it was Jaden talking to Ty about it, and it was awesome. And I'm like, all right, here we go. And we go down, we score. I think Dom on the fade. We can pull that up. That'd be awesome.
Absolutely.
And then defense comes out again, and I think we just got to stop at 3 and out. And we go down, we score again. I'm like, okay, we're up 4-0. We get one more stop, we should be cool. And then DeJuan gets the pick, and I'm like, okay, here we go. And then
Andre Porter
just made
has the best catch I think I've ever seen with my own 2 eyes.
Andre Porter just goes berserk and makes just indescribable play, you know. And that's really what kind of turned the heat up. And the heat was already turned up. I mean, they were getting mad. They were getting, you know, it was getting chippy because we were making plays. And
teams don't like that,
especially when, you know, I let the boys have fun after they make plays. They deserve it, and you know, it's part of sevens. And yeah, we're gonna do our backflips. We're gonna dunk the ball after, but we're not gonna worry about you. You know, we're worried about us because it's us versus us. And Andre just made one of the greatest plays in 7-on-7. I mean, it was just an incredible play, and it kind of just set the top off because it went for 6. It went for 6 as well. And after that, the route was on and ended up winning 28-3. And so the whole tournament, we waited till the championship to really play the way we play. Yeah. Dominate offensively and just dominate defensively. And like, people don't understand, I'm a defensive-minded person. So for the defense to play like that in the championship, and I told you, if we want to win, it really comes down to defense because we're going to score.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like 7-on-7's football right there for you.
I mean, you're supposed to be able to score at will. It really comes down to defense if you want to win some of these tournaments. You're going to need to get stops in big moments. And I want to say this, like, shout out to Coach Karp because he's really gotten better with situational football and really gotten better as a coordinator each tournament.
For surely.
Each tournament. And he takes it serious and he dives in. And it was just an awesome program win. It was an emotional program win. And then for the boys to come out and get it done. And hopefully show the world, Brandon Huffman.
Hugely important.
That we got guys in Nevada. We got dudes in Nevada. And that's the whole point of Be Great Battleborn. That's the whole point of this foundation. Is to get kids out who don't have enough exposure. The exposure. And that was this weekend we did that. I firmly believe that.
Yeah, I mean, Huff's already created player profiles for a couple of our kids since that's happened. Thank you.
And he's reaching out. He's going to be reaching out to the boys with some interviews and gaining that exposure. But, yeah, I mean, to put it in a nutshell, that was our tournament. And it leaves us as a whole on the entire season 24-5-1. And every loss, I believe, was a dogfight. There was no loss. And they're all...
We didn't give up on a single
self-inflicted. Game. You know, but yeah, 24-5-1 I think is pretty special for just a bunch of boys from Nevada. You know what I mean? And playing against guys from Oklahoma, playing against guys from Cali, and these states that are supposed to be these big football states. And you know, we went out and we showed. We beat a team from Florida. So my biggest question is OT7 is when can we get the bid and where? Because I feel like your job is to gain exposure, particularly for recruiting, right? And I have this group of kids, I'm telling you, they can go. Can you give them an opportunity to come out and compete? That's what this is about. This first episode, we wanted to explain the season to you guys, talk about our guys. But yeah, we really want the opportunity to
let us prove ourselves.
That has nothing to do. Let my boys have deserved the opportunity to go out and compete against the best in the country. That's all we want. That's all we want to do. And we want to see if we can make that 24-5-1 like 35-1 with another ship. But the ship doesn't really matter. The fact is you guys have a platform that my boys can gain a ton of exposure from, and I do believe we're a top team in the country. Pylon has us at 14 right now, and that's off of one tournament.
And there's no reason that A top 14 team in the country should not be able to get a bid to one of your tournaments.
Yeah, and so, I mean, check Zorch. We're gonna put up all the scores of our games and things like that. But you know, we're not begging for anything. We believe we've earned it. We do. We believe we've earned the bid to OT7. So, with that being said, moving on with the rest of our Be Great or Die Trying season, we have a ton of stuff loaded up.
Yeah, we do.
Right? Like, that was kind of like our 7-on-7 season episode, but we got a lot of stuff and a lot of big guests coming up, and we'll release that as we keep going. But, you know, you can expect at least 2 episodes a month, maybe 3, depending on what I can get my producer down here. Coach Virgil lives in Reno, so it's kind of hard to keep going. But I do know, speaking of Reno, yeah. Speaking of Reno, I know, you know, our next guest is going to be Jarek Robinson, who we just got out there out of the transfer portal.
Absolutely.
So we'll touch on the portal a little bit. We'll touch on what it's like trying to go from program to program and what it's like, because he was at Colorado State, so what it's like going from Colorado State to this new Nevada program and finding his new home, how he's settling in his new home at the Wolfpack. So
shout out Wolfpack.
Shout out to Wolfpack. But besides that, there's really nothing else to be said. But you know, thank you guys for tuning in, and
let us know if there's anything you want to hear us talk about.
Absolutely, we'll definitely do like little topics and categories. Like, hey, like what's your playlist before? That's one thing I want to tell you. I want to know the kids like playlist before. Shoot questions for our athletes. What you want to know about. And we're really excited for the season. We want to do at least 8 episodes this year. So stay tuned in, and remember, be great or die trying.